Hey everybody, welcome to 2024. It's the first show of the new year, and I was very, very tempted on New Year's Day to go live. I was very, very tempted to go live on New Year's Day. Resisted the urge, resisted the temptation. I would have had a lot to say, Gary and Stan. I would have had a lot of maybe not so positive things to say, but it still looks pretty bad in terms of the league. We gave up 2 games that it's unlike Arsenal. That it's been many, many years since I've witnessed a performance like the one against Fulham, and you try to rationalize it. Was okay. You can say the West Ham game was different to the one against Fulham, but we lost 2 games, Gary. At the end of the day, we lost 2 games, and now we're not being hunted, but we have to be the hunters, Gary. So let's talk about the league real quick before we get into this FA Cup. We have to get that mindset of winning games to close up on our competition.
Yeah. I'll say hello, Ray. Stan will be with us in a little bit. Everybody in the chat. I see Moss and BX in the house. Welcome. Yeah. So, yeah, that as I'll keep saying, that looked like a team that was on their holidays. I mean, they were on their winter holiday long before the holiday session or season of football began. I mean, you win 1 game in 5.
Poor.
You've lost the team doesn't look prepared, especially based on what we were before. I don't think what we saw is reminiscent of what we are as a squad, for sure. I think we definitely underperformed. So,
yeah.
And as you said, now we have to chase people, which should be, I think it should be easier, because that will allow Arteta to just, release the constraints that he has on his squad. Like the whole concept of everybody talking about we're controlling things. Guess what? If that's controlling things, then we're in trouble. So at some point, he's just going to have to release some of those constraints and say, guys, go have some fun out there. And I keep saying it. When everybody here was younger and they played soccer, they played football. They played football. The one thing they wanted to do was score.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't look like a team that wants to score. So yeah, that's my little thing. I don't know if I answered to your question about where we are, but that was just a quick high level thing. I think this is one of those big tests for Arteta. I don't think he's gone through this, because now it's affecting us from winning trophies. Now, as before, let's try and get into the big, finish top 4. Now we're like looking at this going, if this goes sour, this one might set us back to affect this season and more. So, yeah, lots of, you built this up, now you need to maintain it. So
yeah,
that's
reach a certain level, and I feel we'll be talking about Stan's list a little bit later as well.
Stan's got another list?
No, just the main list. He's been working on a list.
He's bringing lists.
You're making me sound like a cross between Chris Jericho and Jeffrey Epstein at the moment.
Whoa. Hey, whoa, slow down. I don't know.
Stan's releasing a list, but it's not that list that you think it is.
If I'm going down, everybody's going down with me. Is that the kind of list?
He's got names.
Seriously,
he's got names on
the
list.
I actually had something quite refreshing happen to me today on social media, and also I just want to say a big hello to everyone that's joining us. It's our first show for 2024 on Arsenal Fan Circle.
Yes.
Thank you all for coming back.
Happy New Year, people.
So I was on X earlier, and I've been quite quiet on X. I don't really say much anymore, and the main reason is that if you try to start a debate or you put out an opinion, someone's going to come in and start going like, you don't know what you're talking about. You need to watch another sport. You don't know nothing about ball. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff. And I don't like getting into it with them sort of people. So I've not really been sort of like tweeting much. I mainly sort of like talk to other people about what they're talking about, right? But today I was like, oh, was it yesterday? No, earlier on today, I put a tweet out saying, following on from our show on Sunday, when I was talking about how looking through all 25 of Mikel Arteta's signings, I could only really identify 5 that have really worked out. And we went through it and we had our little discussion. And I kind of put that out on Twitter. And on Twitter, I put out the 5 names that I thought, had worked out. And there's quite a few people came in and I said, please feel free to correct me in the comments.
You did.
And I kind of winced. I thought, here we go. Do you know what I mean? I'm
Open the gate.
Smashed here. Yeah. But I have to say that I was very surprised that the people that came in and started debating and chatting, it was all very civil.
Yeah.
There were some things that after we went on a little bit, they said, okay, I can see what you're saying there. There were other things where it was like, nah, I'm not so sure. But it was like the old days. It was like, a group of people just having a chat and a debate, all being respectful of each other's opinions. And a big shout out to SD Gunacap, who was one of the people that I was talking to. And also another one called Gail, who I was talking to. And it was all kind of, was all very civil. So I really enjoyed that. And I'm really hoping that this is like a new trend. Not a one-off.
It's not. You just, when you're mining for gold and you just hit a rich vein of pay dirt. That's what you hit.
Man. This is the tease, and this is that tease when you walk by a place and there's a tease on the outside, or and then you walk inside and it's not the same.
Looks like a nice establishment.
I would like it. I agree with you. It should be a place where you can have kind of like good back and forth conversations about.
Exactly, it's like a virtual pub, right?
Yes.
Absolutely, right.
But we're sharing ideas. We're able to share our views with people that we wouldn't usually meet from all different corners of the earth, who see the game in a different way. And that's what I thought Twitter was for. So if SD Guna Cap is listening, because I invited them to come and listen to the show and join the chat. Thanks for that. And Gail, if you're listening in, big shout out to yourself as well, sir. Cool. I enjoyed that little chat.
No, definitely, Stan. Twitter is that place
also,
where
Suburban AFC was joining the chat as well. There was a few people that came in, and it was pretty cool actually. I liked it.
It's Twitter's like that bar you sit down and you don't know who you're sitting beside. You're gonna have a conversation. You don't know what is gonna come back from that conversation.
Or are you going to be that person that just as your eyes casually meet, you got to turn around and go, what the fuck are you looking at outside? You're like, I just came in for a quiet pint, man.
Yeah.
I just came in for a quiet half.
Yeah, definitely. But as Gary said, we were on this run of the last 5 games, and it's quite interesting, Stan, that you do get a rich reign of discourse there, a conversation which is quite rewarding. It's not easy to find that in Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. The last 5 games, 1 win, draw, and then 3 losses. And it's not been good. And now we had a situation where we don't recognize this Arsenal team, and we don't know why. Mikel Arteta probably doesn't know why. There's players that are not firing at all. I'm reconsidering my position on Zinchenko as a left back. He's making me rethink a lot of things about Arsenal. But the big but in all of this is we do have an FA Cup game. And maybe, Gary, a switch of competitions might help this team get the limelight away from the league. We've done damage to ourselves in the league. And quick side note, New Year's Day, watching that Liverpool team, albeit against an injury-ravaged Newcastle team, it didn't look like anything close to what Arsenal could do. Liverpool at Anfield are a daunting prospect, but on the other hand, we drew up there. So I don't know what to take from this game. I think we're going to play at home on Sunday, so I think we're different gravy at home. We have to be against Liverpool. What do you think, Gary?
Yeah, no, I think we always talk about it. We always say, Arsenal kind of made this a game for our opponent, and people go, no, they had a good game. I don't know about that. I mean, we've been watching us play for the last, season and a half. I think our qualities are pretty good. Mm-hmm. We've got a good squad set up, the players and all of that. And Arteta's, we had a good system last year. This year we changed it up a little bit. but it still was able to. We were still able to get some wins out of it. So I think we still have the talent. So I think we're making I think we are making it a little bit easier for teams to play us. That a lot of that's I believe on us. I mean, it sounds maybe a little bit big, feeling big about ourselves, but I do believe we have the talent to be able to compete based on what we saw last year and with some of the additions we have this year and improvements. I did hear something on not another Arsenal podcast that made me think though. Remember how we said about 3 years ago, if the young kids continue to improve,
Hmm.
We'll be fine.
Hmm.
Have they hit their ceiling? Have some of them hit their ceiling?
Hmm.
Have all of them hit their ceiling? Is this
Yeah.
kind of where is this kind of what we saw last season was them hitting the tip of the top of the mountain kind of thing, and that's a level you're going to get on a good season. I mean, I like to think that there's a lot more in there. I mean, with all of the youngsters, I mean, Erdegaard, Saka, and Martinelli, as far as what I consider the young players. I mean, I think Saliba. I don't see any slowing down for him, but I definitely on the attack side, which I think is the toughest thing to do. I believe is being an attacker in this day and
Yeah.
age. So,
Yeah.
are we asking too much? Because I was looking at it. I was looking at Messi in his first 4 years. He didn't hit 20 until his fifth year.
Okay.
And then he hit 30, and pretty much that was all she wrote for the rest of his days until he left, basically.
Hmm.
And that's now we're talking about GOAT status, and I I don't know what GOAT status looks like now as far as an attacker in the front right now. I don't know if we have that. If we're gonna look back 10 years from now and go, that's the last the Messi, the Ronaldo of our time that we got to see. But
Hmm.
I think that's when you see a lot of people talking about Saka and comparing him to Salah, and you're like, how do you compare a 30-year-old player to a 20-year-old player who's on a team that's struggling as opposed to one who's basically been around for a while?
Functioning.
Everybody puts a little bit of too much pressure on these kids, ask them to do too much and be too much. They need some help. And I always go back to that Bayern Munich team when Muller was like 22 years old. And he's looking up to, if you remember that team had Ribery and Robin on it, he was coming off the bench. And that's what he was looking at, right?
Yeah.
Years later, he's that player that they're all looking at going, Robin, Mueller is, the old time guy with the youngsters coming up after him. So,
Yeah.
and that's, we're talking probably 15, 20 years of football, right? Arsenal's restarting all over again. We don't have a base like that now. Saka's not looking up to anyone. Lieber's not looking up to anyone. Martinelli, Erdegaard, they're not looking up to anybody. They are the trendsetters, and I think that's a lot to ask. I do believe they have it. That's where I think we're going to say it. Arteta and Edu have to help them, but they're still learning the ropes as well.
Hmm.
We've got three sets of groups of people here trying to figure this thing out together. It could, I know somebody said it'd take like 5 to 10 years before we get where we want to be. That's probably true. Because anytime you compare Arteta to another manager, you look at their CV. They've been doing this for 10 to 20 years.
Yeah.
Even the managers on the bottom of the table, they've all got like 10 years experience plus. Arteta's competing with that on a big squad.
Hmm.
So I think it's a lot to ask. I mean, I believe it's there, and I feel, and I always say my phrase is always don't waste a trip. Well, if you're here and you have a chance to do something good and big, and you can do it now, why not? you know,
Yeah.
you know what? If you take that chance, you take that risk, and it pays out. Guess what? You're laughing. But if you never take it, I think that's what we're doing. We're kind of holding back and waiting for something to happen. We just need to go take the risk, right? Take that risk.
Yeah.
We saw it in the video on a Fulham video, I think it was, where there were at least 15 to 20 times when a pass should have been made and we didn't. We just kind of held. We said, no, we're not ready. That looks a little too risky. Is that the coach? Is that the players? we're gonna you got to take that risk now because I think that opens you up, and then you understand a little bit more.
Yeah.
Big clubs do, I believe. So I think I've rambled on a lot, but
No. I mean, it's good to get a good opening statement, and maybe Stan's been making some notes as to, or else he's making his lottery numbers or something like that. I don't know. Maybe he's making his list. Gary, maybe you joined the list. I don't know.
True. Uh-oh. I'll be right back. I just
no problem.
something.
Stan, as Gary mentioned, and
Yeah.
he's reminded me a couple of things. We've been following Arsenal for I was going to say centuries, decades now, and maybe we've lost that strand of the Arsenal DNA. Since Tony Adams, since Patrick Vieira, maybe we had a Koscielny, maybe we had a Cazorla, maybe we had Mikel Arteta as a player. Say what you like about him as a player, maybe not the best player in the world, but certainly loved Arsenal. And maybe we had a Cazorla or Alexis Sanchez. We had these flashes in the pan throughout the last 2 decades. But as Gary said, you've got these young players, and they've really they have had no guidance growing up. And here we are in the early 20s.
I think it's quite rare, isn't it, that you see a top team, which we are, have 3 players in the starting 11 that are young on a regular basis. I think usually what you would see is, even when somebody like Wayne Rooney was emerging at Everton, I don't think he played every single week. You can see that a youngster has talent. You put them in the team, you see them do that. You see that the talent is there. But I think when you're a young player, you can be inconsistent. And, if you're playing every week, then the inconsistencies are going to show up. I mean, you look at someone like a Garnacho at Man United. He's obviously a very talented player.
Yeah.
He obviously, he belongs to be playing in this division, but he hasn't, in my opinion, he hasn't yet quite learned enough for him to be a nailed-on starter every single week.
Correct.
Did you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's wrong.
As good and as talented that he isn't, if I'm playing FIFA, maybe, but in real life, he's not going to be the first name on the team sheet because of, you see young players, they go through inconsistencies. You do get anomalies to that. Maybe somebody like a Messi is an anomaly. Maybe someone like a Neymar who'd already played over 100 games before he'd even come to Europe because he started playing from so young. Maybe we have one in William Saliba, who's quite an anomaly. The guy doesn't really look ever to be inconsistent. There seems to be a straight level with the way that he plays his game. It's very rare that you see him have a bad game, isn't it? I can't think of a standout where you're like, oh, what a shocker there from William Saliba that game. I can't really think of that. Maybe though, all right, Tone. Maybe though, some of the others though, Saka, Martinelli, and Odegaard, maybe they're not cut from that cloth. And as talented as they are, playing week in and week out, maybe he's going to show up those inconsistencies. And hold on a minute, I just want to speak to Tony. Tony, do you know what happens when you join the Arsenal fan circle late? Do you? You know what happens when you join the podcast late, being the first podcast in 2024? Do you know what happens?
Nothing.
You just made the list.
Don't worry about it, Tony. It'll come out in a while. It'll come out soon enough. What that means.
You just made the list. You just made the list. Stan, did you get through everything? I'll go into the chat box, Stan.
All right. How many lists do you think you made, Stan? It's like he's always
one big long off list. And you're on it.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to 2024. Happy New Year to all of you here in the panel and all of you in the chat box.
Ooh, welcome, Chris Jericho fans.
Yeah. No, I mean, I caught the end of that, Stan, and like for me, you're talking about some of the greats, right? Right now, the players that are on that trend, at least for me, is just Jude Bellingham and Haaland. I don't know who else is at that level.
Bellingham's good. He's all right.
As far as the attack, as far as the attacks go,
Bellingham, people like that. Saliba, even I think Saliba fits in that.
Yeah,
but it's a small group, isn't it, to have young kids that come in and they're playing like men every week. I don't think Martinelli, Saka, and Odegaard are quite there.
Yeah.
They haven't
But
played
We're
replays.
relying on them, aren't we? We put ourselves in a
me,
position to rely on
yeah.
them.
I think they play so much it's just hard to
Well, I think Jude Bellingham plays a
compare.
lot too. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't think it's about the amount of time you play, but it's when you do play. Doesn't matter. Like I think it's when you do play. I need to see. I need to see it every time.
Yeah. All right. Let me get through a few comments here. Welcome to the show, everybody. Arsenal can go deep in this competition if we get that win over Liverpool. Imagine we knock off Liverpool on Sunday. We are playing at home, so stick a pin in that. We'll talk about the FA Cup. Moss is here. Yeah, be so good to win. Change the attitude around the club and fan base currently and win. It is our trophy. We've won it 14 times. Nice that Palace will have to play a replay before playing us now. So we win on Sunday. Oh, yeah, right. I didn't actually think there'd be replays in the FA Cup anymore. BX, welcome to the show, BX and Moss. Big up, Stan. Gary and Ray. Tony did not make the list, but we welcome you.
We know when you're late, Ray, you get punished. You don't get up on the.
Listen, he chose wrestling.
Is that what it was? He chose wrestling
over Arsenal. He had responsibilities as a co-host.
Oh, okay. All right. So we'll let you excuse this time, Tony, but don't let it happen again.
Come on, Melissa.
Schedule the wrestling events at a different time, okay?
With my beat arm,
it's freaking
like his beat red.
I mean, it's in the dark right now, but I can tell you that's
probably no. Let's just keep it.
Red.
No. See what you? No.
BX says he blocks people left and right these days. He's not going to block Tony, though, right?
Oh my God! If he keeps doing that, he's going to get blocked. Tony, put that thing down.
Tony, is it healing?
Yeah, it's healing. It's just like going down my arm.
That's a healthy sign, Gary.
Okay, good.
We need the blood flowing to his arm. Enjoy you guys on here. Exactly. Steven's here.
Evening, I don't want to be a pirate that fucking bad.
Evening, guys. Just listening as I have really got anything to contribute to the show from an Arsenal point of view. Hit the like button.
Yeah.
Hang in there with us, Steven. It's a roller coaster.
Is it a roller coaster? This is not a roller coaster.
It's we're on the up, right? We have to.
We are. You know what? We're hanging on just to stay on the tracks right now.
White knuckle time, Gary.
No. White knuckle would mean like it's fun. Like no, this is like we could go off the tracks. Like you hit those turns and you're like, and you know how parts of the track, the car goes off the track. That's kind of where we are right now.
I was more thinking we were like a passenger of like a ski boat, and like they're driving through all these woods and obstacles, and we have to avoid the trees.
Shout out to Tiger and Gunnar. He is enjoying his vacation in Thailand.
Oh, nice. So, enjoy.
Have a good one.
Did Sam sneak over there with him?
No. He probably doesn't know Sam. You're right. After fifth round, no replays. Okay, no replays after fifth round. So we really would want to take care of Liverpool on Sunday.
And you're not going to get into it yet.
Why do they wait?
That's fine. You can jump in. We can go all over it, Gary. It's fine. Jump in. What do you got to say?
Why do they wait that late to have the replays? Because that's a lot of replays. Because you start off with so many times.
Well, I think it's an effort to reduce fixture congestion, Tony.
What round is it in now?
Third.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, you know what? We have an opportunity to play a team who's down.
It's been kind to us, Gary.
One crucial player and one of their best players. So if you don't take advantage, you never. You know what? If I told you you're going to go into a game, and Endo and Salah aren't going to be playing, you should feel a little confident about going into that game.
We won't have the mighty El Neni.
It's crazy. It's just going to a third round, but there are literally like hundreds of teams that have been eliminated.
Correct. We have the privilege as Arsenal fans and being in the Premier League to join at the third
I,
round.
I don't think I've
stage.
ever seen like the list of like the first or second round, like the format, like how many teams are in there. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Everybody plays, so just assume everybody. Was it 200 plus teams or something like that? So
Yeah, it is the
something
oldest.
crazy.
It is the oldest
Or 100
cup
plus.
competition in the world. And Moss says he still loves the traditions of the FA Cup. I mean, we could get started talking about all day coverage of the FA Cup before
I
Man
thought
United
I
devalued.
thought the I thought the
You
Scottish
got
Cup
to
was the oldest cup.
the reason that people like myself, Moss, and people here, we all, love the traditions of the FA Cup is that we grew up as kids watching, when it was on all day on the Saturday, you'd see everything behind the team and everything. And the
The
fact that they
suits.
don't do that now, it makes that the kids, the young generation, they don't see the value in it because it's not treated with the same esteem.
Yeah.
So it's not held in the same regard
No.
because it's not given all the pomp and circumstance like we used to get, right?
Yep. Yeah. Not like the Champions League as well. What about the Hungarian? Is he hurt? Szoboszlai, is he hurt? I'm not quite sure about
He's
him.
got an ankle issue, right? So
No. TP5. I don't think we can. Don't put all your chips on TP5, Moss. Do not do that. Do not push all those chips onto number 5.
you know what? We don't need. I assume that's Thomas Partey, right?
Yeah.
We don't need Thomas Partey until the last 20 matches, 15 to 20 matches of the season, anyways. In my eyes,
Correct.
because I don't want him anywhere near that 22, 24 number mark that Ray talks about. I want him
Yeah.
to be fresh and ready to go for 15 games straight, basically. Let's see how
mean-
that works, right?
But
No
do
more.
you,
We've dropped positions, in the last 10 games of a season. Now it's time to go. Now it's
So-
time to be on the chase and
Yeah.
see how everybody else likes it when we're chasing them. But
does AFCON make his body more worn and broken down, or does
he's
it
not
actually-
going, Tony. So
going.
it's not an issue. He's
Yeah.
not going,
Yeah, he's
He's
not
not
going.
so it's not an issue this year.
I actually
He's
I
crocked.
actually believe that now that the transfer window is open, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I think we might have seen Thomas Partey's last game for us.
Yeah.
I think there's a strong possibility that he could be moved on in this window and might not play for Arsenal again.
If
I
we
mean,
can get
I
money,
think
the
that
monies that
could-
they're talking about for him, right? And for me, it's just a mindset change with the team. I don't think it's new
But-
players are going to change how we play. I mean, you bring in
But
any player, if the
realistically-
mindset of the team
can't rely
stays
on
the
him.
same, it doesn't really matter. Like Partey comes in and we're still playing the same way with the other 10 players. We're still going to
Is that
be
you rest your
struggling,
cup,
right?
Tony? Hang on, is that you rest your cup, Tony? You rest it on your belly.
I like how
Eat
Eat
it
ice
just
cream.
follows-
Eat ice cream from there.
I like how it just follows us everywhere. It likes to look up.
Good point, Gary. As you usually TP5.
Yeah. No,
runs
think about it.
down
If
at the
we're
end of
playing
the
with a
season.
healthy Partey at the end of this season, then we should be laughing because, we know what we're missing with him not around. So,
Yeah, how's Onana staying to United when he's supposed to be Cameroon? Different rules for some. Listen, I was actually wondering.
Maybe Cameroon have seen him play this season. They're like, no, you're all right. No, thanks.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
thank you.
We don't need a goalkeeper who's going to play 5-yard passes to his fullback all game.
it is
Well,
interesting though how
that.
some players have left and some players can actually be around for both
games.
for the replay as well. It's like, huh?
So I was wondering about Tomiyasu a little bit. We have a fullback situation right now. We have maybe a little bit of an injury crisis. And I mentioned this on Sunday. And when you say something, you think to yourself, maybe I'm talking shite here. But I was wondering if Arsenal would hold Tomiyasu's flight till Sunday evening, and have him play against Liverpool because we really need every available
I don't know
fullback.
why. Yeah.
Doesn't begin with C. We don't need any fullbacks that names begin and end with C. You know, you're not allowed Cedric.
As you're talking about fullbacks, here's something for you that I heard today, and I usually like to tune in if I can to Harry, Chronicles of a Gooner, and he doesn't really go in for clickbait. You know, he doesn't chat about every single person that we're linked with. He only talks about the ones where it comes from quite a credible source. You know, doesn't waste his time and just clickbait. And he was saying today that the word is that Arsenal's, you know, target for this window, the position that they've identified that they need to cover straight away and first above everything else, left back.
Yeah.
So that tells me that Mikel Arteta has lost confidence in Zinchenko. And Zinchenko, I think if everybody's fit, I think Zinchenko is now probably in third spot. He's probably behind Timber. He's probably behind Tomiyasu.
Yeah, but
and obviously
at that
Timber's
point,
not, you know, we don't, you know, we've not seen enough of Timber to say whether it's going to be a nailed on for him in that position. He looked good for 2.5 games, right? But it's not a fair assessment to say that he's going to be a left back. We don't know that yet, but that's what the word is that they're looking to bring in the left back, maybe one on loan.
Yeah,
so that's
that
quite
rumor's
interesting.
been going on for about 2 weeks, so I believe it. I think it's pretty.
Oh, you heard it before, Harry? Fair play to you, Ty. Then
yeah,
you should get your own podcast going.
Tony is supplying the information to Harry.
Romano.
Mauricio Romano calls up Tony and says, "So, what are we talking about
Tony,
today?
what's the word?
Didn't you know his name is Tony Turnstein?
I seen it on Bleacher Report.
Wherever you get whatever your resources, don't give it out to the people, Tony. Keep that to yourself.
It's not Orny, it's Torny. Tony Turnstein.
In the know.
No, but Tony, you know,
it's more like Tony Beat right now. But
it takes a long time for Mikel Arteta to switch off of a favored player, but we have a lot of evidence on Zinchenko. We have a lot of footage on Zinchenko.
Yeah, but what don't you think if you get healthy Timber, healthy Tomiyasu, then Zinchenko's going to the midfield?
No. I'd like to think that.
If Arteta
we would have seen it already, man. We would have seen it by now.
Yeah.
We would have seen it.
We would have seen that happen by now. I'm curious as to why we haven't, but Mikel knows.
I'm curious why we haven't ventured with the back three, at least in like one of the Champions League group stages or something.
He loves it. He loves a back three.
You love a back three, didn't you, Tony? You love the back three.
I like the 4-4-2, Stan. That's all I do.
Because I think if you play with a back three, then do we have to not play with wing backs? It's really like a five.
Yeah, you'd like a wing backs to tuck in when you're out of position.
Yeah, but Zinchenko is a wing back. Yeah,
So
what happens to Martinelli? Saka.
Yeah.
They're still there.
You think Saka can't be part of a team in a back three?
Oof. You want Saka as a wing back?
Could be, I think. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see that. I think he could do it, but
at some points, I think he's our best left back. He just doesn't play there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. You know, I think he may have lost something now. I mean, he might definitely lost some confidence right now. But I think if he was given the opportunity like he was back in the days when he first started, where he just was comfortable playing anywhere on the pitch, right? That's the kind of confidence you don't want to lose, right, from your players. And we've seen that from the big coaches. They will put their players that they have confidence in anywhere on the pitch just to get them out there to answer the call when it's required.
Yeah, but don't you have to experiment unless you're bringing in a couple of fullbacks? You have to kind of, because we're too vulnerable on defense. You have to do something. It's either a formation.
We are because we're playing Kivior or we're playing Zinchenko.
Otherwise, don't they? But the actual stats say that we're defensively.
We are terrible though when we give up a shot. The problem isn't when we don't give up that many shots, but when we do, it's a high percentage of the high percentage of them going into the net. You know what I mean? Like, what is it? 18 shots on target, 10 in the goal or something like that. Something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, Orbinho
That's-
has been just stockpiling those stats for Arsenal.
So when teams, I think teams that are doing what we need to do, when they get an opportunity to score, guess what? They make sure that it counts, right? We don't do that. We kind of wait and see if we can just, roll it across the line, basically.
Defensively, we are the second best in the league defensively. Not far off Liverpool. But offensively, we haven't scored enough goal. And, Harry Symeou again did say we're fifth out of the top 6 in terms of goals scored in the top 6 teams. But look, I pulled this stat here from, maybe I mentioned it last week as well. Maybe there's a post Man City fall off here. We got 20 points in 8 games up to Man City. The next 12 games, we got another 20 points.
You know what? Here's the trend, I guess, now. So as you said, as you showed there, we played City, we've seen a drop in form. We played Liverpool, and we just basically just lay down, right?
Yeah,
lay down. Like we drew a 1-1 to Liverpool. We've scored like 1 goal since then, or something like that. Like what the world is going on? Like in the past, it's been like, all right, we're getting into the City match. So guess what we're going to do? We're just going to fail, and going into the big match, and then we'll fail in the big match, and then we'll respond. Now we're like, we're going to play good up until the big match. Maybe even win the big match or have a good performance, and then we're done. We're tired. We have nothing left, and everything goes out the window.
And maybe that's a little bit of the inconsistency Stan's been talking about as well. Maybe that's a call out to inconsistency.
I was just laughing because I saw that Moss had commented about how Nuno Tavares could be, we could bring him back as a win back. And
whoa.
Kieran Tierney, I can entertain, not Nuno. Remember, listen, I was one of those Nuno-ettes. I was a Nunet.
But I saw that, right, and I was literally just about to click the pen.
Now Ray's like, please, no.
And put Moss on the list. But then I saw the LOL and the laughy emojis. So I thought, okay, yeah, we're cool.
You know what?
Being sarcastic.
No, you know what? No. Think about the players that we've had that are out on loan, and if we had to put them on the pitch right now,
Sambi Lokonga.
Ouch.
Just think about all of them, right? Nuno,
Murray, Pablo Murray.
You wouldn't even be able to smile right now.
Marquinhos.
I think Marquinhos.
Pablo Maldini. Ray was so big and hot on
Marini.
Mari, then he just gave up on it.
It was mistakes of the past. And look, I'm gonna fess up to it now. I was that follower of that shiny new thing in Nuno Tavares when he was out playing Kieran Tierney a couple of seasons ago.
Outplaying Kieran Tierney
for a couple of seasons.
The fact that you actually keep saying it, it means you have not learned.
No, I'm saying it about myself rather than you.
You don't say it anymore because stop saying it.
I will. I'll stop. I'll just let you and Stan keep referencing it.
No, we don't reference it because it's time to move on from that. That was like those are the dark days, right?
The other bit of news that I heard is as well, and again I think it was from Harry, good old Harry, is that just speaking of Marquinhos, he's out on loan. He's out on loan in France, isn't he, Marquinhos? What team's he with? Is he with Rennes or something like that?
I thought it was Nans or something. Nans.
Maybe
that. Maybe
not. Whoever it is, they want to send him back.
Send them back.
Which is never a good sign when you go on loan and they're like,
it's not a good sign.
You know what's scary about that?
Can we send him back, please?
Didn't Reece Nelson get sent back or something like that?
Well, I think he wasn't training hard enough.
He got sent back, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, so Ray, I said he got sent back, and you say something that doesn't make any. No,
I'm just nicer. I'm just nicer about these things.
You know what? No, it's the hard truth. He got sent back essentially, and then we re-signed him. So all that means right now is that Marquinhos is probably going to get re-signed.
I just love those zoom-ins on Tony. I just love those zoom-ins. It zooms out
they're
and
so
then it zooms in.
unpredictable.
What is doing that?
Tony, it looks like you're in it's the TV show The Office.
It's like it's like belly vision. belly vision.
What is it that what do
Belly,
you have?
belly,
What do you
belly.
have that's doing that?
It's called I
It's a
forgot the
setting.
name of it now.
He has it on a dynamic setting.
What's on dynamic setting?
It's a
It's
Turner
center.
Vision.
Your belly.
It's
Turner
center.
Vision.
It's
Belly.
Turn
center.
vision.
It's center stage. You have it on like the higher end iPads or like iPhones as well.
Oh, okay.
It's
All
just a
right. So
video
listen, I do my research, so give me at least a chance to present the numbers to you. Right before City, when we win 2 goals a game and 0.75 conceded, the differential is 1.25 goals plus 2.5 points a game. We're clicking along at a really nice rate. And then after City, 1.75 goals a game, 1.16 concede. We're conceding more, scoring less.
So the
And
margins are really crucial. So if you, as we've seen, nobody's blown us away, but
well, we're not
we're not.
scoring, Gary.
But if you get us, you're probably gonna win because we have bad days.
Yeah. Now, for all of that, we're going to go to a game on Sunday where we have drawn a team at home for the first time in 4 years. You know, we went out of the FA Cup against Nottingham Forest away, where Mikel Arteta was embarrassed and he wanted to win every duel. You know, we saw that in the All or Nothing documentary. We binned off a Southampton game in the FA Cup with a mixed, very poor lineup. And then we lost at Man City. And we played a mixed team as such, right, against Man City. I know Gary was talking about that a lot last season. We didn't go into that Man City game with the conviction to win. You know, we played them well, but we lost 1-0. Now we have a chance at redemption against Liverpool. And I think we cannot afford to lose. Who wants to go first here? Cannot afford to lose a third game in a row.
Yes.
Who wants to go
Yeah,
first?
no, we need. Yeah, we definitely need to stop the rot, as they say. We need to get back on a winning side. Like we need to go in. Like we need to finish up and go into this holiday break and not think about this. Supposedly, if we don't get the win, we have to do a replay. Then we don't. The players don't get to go.
Yeah, we have to go to Anfield.
They don't get to go on a little holiday out to whatever Dubai, wherever they
Oh,
go.
Gary, would the replay be a week later?
It'd be soon enough that they wouldn't be able to make the trip. That's my understanding.
Okay,
So,
there's an incentive there, right?
so yeah, so you want to go out and you want to go out with a win, right? So, last thing you want to do is have to go into Anfield and come out with at least a draw, right? So, before you go to penalty kick. So,
My worry though is is that confidence must be low at the moment. You know, I think that the team's been, probably mentally they've been riding high. You know, being at the top of the league, thereabouts, following on from last season. But I do think that looking at the way we've been playing this season compared to last season, going into that Fulham game, I didn't feel easy at all. I don't know what it was. There was something in my stomach. I even tweeted it out that I was nervous. I just felt that we weren't going to come out on the back of the West Ham loss and then come into a win and then continue. You know, I felt there was something on a decline. And I just look at the way we're playing this season and last season, that the team probably had misguided confidence because we're managing to be at the top of the league. But I think that we've been papering over some cracks. And you only have to look at the numbers from Martinelli to last season. Saka's not far off. He's there or thereabouts. But Odegaard as well hasn't been putting up the numbers.
Very poor.
And then we've got Jesus, who, he scored. It seems like he comes in with a goal or assist, once every 3 or 4 games. Which maybe that's, I'm exaggerating. I don't know, but it kind of feels like that. So
no,
I think that
4.
The team has probably now realised, like, we've actually been skating a little bit here and been a little bit lucky. Do you know what I mean? And maybe confidence.
You know what? If that's the case, then the team they haven't been watching, they haven't been paying attention. I mean, we've been saying all
young
season,
minds
right?
as well, right? Young minds, young mindsets.
Yeah. No, but I mean, this is for the coaching staff, right? And all of them. Like you've got what, 10,
Ben White
10
doesn't look the
you've
same
got
to
10
me.
people that are
Ben
sitting there
White
that
doesn't look
support
the same.
the squad. Are they not seeing this? Like we've not been clinical all season.
But
We've
how
been calling
crazy?
we've been calling for that all season. We've
Okay,
also
and
been
Tony.
saying that we make these timely mistakes on the defensive side, which keep teams in the game, right? None of that's changed. We're still making little mistakes here and there
Yeah.
that give people an opportunity to get something out of a game,
We've
and that's
got
been all season. So we haven't like that's why I don't think this is a player situation. I think this is a coaching situation where Arteta needs to get these guys go back to the basics, do the little things right. If if the plan is to break the line and you see a player open, you make the pass. Like I don't know.
So
I think the team once again. I think the team is thinking and overthinking and thinking again about what they need to do, as opposed to just you're not supposed to go into a game thinking. You done all the thinking you have to going into the game. Now you react to the way the other team plays, and they dictate where they want to get punished, right?
But
They
but
do
it's
that all
so
the time.
it's
Tony.
so
I have to.
it's
Tony,
so
go ahead.
Sorry,
Yep.
Frank,
I'll give
it's
Tony
so
a second.
strange how we got here because last year record goals. You got fucking Granit Xhaka as attacking midfielder, and this year we can't do
Can generate.
as good yet, let alone better. And it should be way better because you got lots of people that can play the 8. I think he has to make up his mind who that 8 is, and it can't be Kai. Kai needs to
Well,
be up front.
I'm going to mention Harry one more time. Harry's getting a lot of airplay tonight.
Can he?
Yeah, yeah.
This show has been sponsored by the Chronicles of the
You
Beer.
know, I did. It's funny. I listened to his show today when I was driving around with dropping my kid off and stuff like that. So I did listen to him today.
Come on over to Harry.
I
Harry
like
side.
you know what it is what I like. I listen to a lot of people and I'm usually screaming at them. I'm like, no, that's not true. Just because you see that you see how things are different. Where they might have more information than me, but I can only go by what I see, right?
Exactly.
Can't go by what they might know because somebody's told them behind the scenes. But I'm a fan, so I can only tell you what I see on the pitch.
Yeah.
And I can only assume reasons behind it. And if you played any sports and you have a feeling of how things may go going up to prior to a game.
And that's why we listen to podcasts. We listen to people, and we have people here, and we welcome them. We thank them for being here, listening to us. We're just fans as well, and we're giving our viewpoint. But Harry had a good viewpoint about the difference between
Harry
Declan
again.
Rice.
Look at this. Every time we say Harry, everyone has to go shot tequila.
Declan Rice and Thomas Partey. The differences. Declan Rice wants to dribble the ball forward into the attacking parts of the field, and by him doing that, he's allowing defenses to come back and get set and get into a position. Thomas Partey can receive the ball on the turn, a little bit of shimmy turn, and then he's pinging the ball out.
I miss his half turn.
Yeah.
I miss his half turn. And his half turn usually sometimes will be with two defenders on both sides of him, but he don't care. And that's what I mean by we don't. It's not necessarily even at a risk. You got to be confident in your skills that it doesn't matter how many defenders are around you. You can do what you need to do.
You've seen it, Gary. You saw it firsthand in the Northern Derby.
Yeah.
Partey is giving Bukayo Saka and Martinelli the ball quicker than Declan Rice is.
Actually, he's given the ball sometimes it would be to Erdegaard. He would be making those line splitting those passes through the lines to Erdegaard, who would be up further up the pitch, right? And that's where, and then Jacques would be even ahead of him. So that's where we've changed. We've changed because of I think availability and people leaving and stuff like that. But you have to, if you do that, have an answer, right?
We're level-headed here, unlike other channels, crying and
Also, what you're
bitching all
saying
the
there,
time.
Gary, about Thomas Partey, he's very good at doing that and pinging the ball. But then he's also quite good as well, isn't he? About getting into that position on the right-hand side of the 16-yard, the 18-yard box, and has a shot sometimes, right? So he also
Yeah.
gets himself into an attacking
Yeah.
position as
Yeah.
part of that. Is it
Yeah.
quintet? What's the word for five
Yeah.
and whatever it is? Okay, the five that come up and line up to take shots. You know,
Quintet sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
it was
Michael.
quintet four.
Yeah.
No,
You know what's
quartet
funny?
is
You know
four.
what's funny is we're talking
Quartet.
about Rice, right? And how he's actually slowing our attack. But then if you listen to some other people, it's Havertz that's slowing the attack. But if
That's
you
I
look
thought
at
Zinchenko
but if
does.
you look at the stats, because I was listening to somebody put out the stats, Havertz gets half the amount of touches than Erdegaard and Rice. So
Mhm.
if he's slowing up our attack and he's only getting half the touches to
It's
the
doesn't jive.
other midfielders, it doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah, doesn't
And
jive.
it's probably less likely Erdegaard because I don't think he's even in that
Actually,
position to make the pass. But
Who's
you
Michael?
saw the video.
Who's Michael? Just
yeah,
sorry,
I
just
think
see what
he's
he got
been
on mute.
around before. I think Michael's been here
Hey,
before,
Michael.
I don't
especially
remember
on the
Michael.
last
But
couple.
welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but you know
welcome.
what? That video is so eye-opening. Watching how many opportunities you're like, he's open. Like Erdegaard's like
They
he's open.
there were
You're
few
like
passes.
Havertz, he's making a run.
Yeah.
No, oh, you
They
know that's
If
one
you're
game.
talking about slowing play down, I think Zinchenko has a habit of that. He has a habit of coming into the midfield and receiving the ball, and it's almost like he stops, puts his foot on top of the ball, has a little look, and then does something, and that kind of slows it down. I'm exaggerating it, but it's very
Yeah,
much
yeah,
where
yeah.
he literally stops still with the ball sometimes, and then makes a pass. And people are trying to move. You know, it slows everything down. People have now moved that offside or what have you. I think he's quite guilty of that.
But what's funny about it, the lead up to it, is like he's lightning fast and he
Welcome,
just
mate.
pulls up.
Cheers, Michael.
He's like going full speed, just hits the handbrake and he stopped.
Yeah. Well, look, I think my point is that we've moved from Partey because of injury to Declan Rice, and maybe Declan Rice was intended to be the number 8, and Partey was intended to be the number 6. And are we now asking too much of Declan Rice? Are we asking too much of Saliba, like Gabriel, Saka, and Erdegaard? You know, the stars in our team.
Declan Rice is playing as a centre back at times, isn't he?
Yeah, and he was
There's
playing
times when
too
he's
deep
come
against
he's
Fulham.
so deep. He's got Gabriel and Saliba shoulder to shoulder with him.
Yeah.
Then if he peers over his shoulder, he'll see Eddie Nketiah since he's playing so deep.
And look,
When Eddie Nketiah is coming
Eddie
back
in the
to
sweeper
when
role.
Eddie Nketiah is coming back to support the midfield, I'm
Or
like,
Gabriel.
all right, this
Gabriel
plan
comes
is
deep,
just
isn't he?
really not right. There's something not right
Got
about
Jesus
this.
behind him.
I mean, that's
Jesus behind me.
well, look, Declan Rice isn't going to do 100. Not that we want 105 million worth of a player. We have one. What's he doing for us? Level with Saliba and Gabriel in that back four. He needs to be further up the field, even past a number 6 position. Moss said, agree. Jose was saying that to Gary earlier. So many Brits in this fake outrage, and that I really enjoy. Harry, Ray, Gary, Stan, etc. Tony, you'll make the list one of these days. They're a level header.
He's on my list.
You know
He's on my
what,
list. Don't worry about
Ray,
that. He's on my list.
Ray. Now you know what, you should be deducted a couple of points or even being sanctioned because that bringing that up, that's almost as bad as bringing
Maybe
up.
Tony's on the list. Maybe Tony's on a different list.
No. You've already said it, so you've already no.
Maybe
Ray,
he's been.
Ray. No, Ray. That was. This is not really good. That's not cool.
I'm just having a little fun.
Bordering on rude. That was just like, wow. You're like, hey fellas, I'm on the list. Tony, no. Wow. I mean, come on. Tony, I'm your man. All right.
Gary's on your side, Tony.
Stan, it's so weird. It's so weird to like watch him wrestle.
Gary's ready for
do a concert.
Gary's ready for Squid Game challenge.
What's that, Tone?
I'm saying Jericho. It's like so different to watch him wrestle than watch him like sing. He still has like that same like star power drawing you into him, but it's like so much different.
Stephen, I
He could
hope
be-
we do see
be
Partey
fucked
coming
now, though.
back for those 10, 12 games that Gary's talking about at the business end of the season.
You know what? I
And
hope you're
Arteta
wrong. I
will.
hope you're wrong, Stephen.
Yeah, I hope you're wrong too.
Because you know what?
Arteta,
If that's the case, then Arteta is actually clueless as to how to break down a defense.
he's
You
seen
know
it,
what?
Gary.
You know what? Usually, when you break down a defense, what is the thing you're trying to do? You're trying to pass it to an open man in a vulnerable position for the defense, right?
Yeah.
If our plan isn't
Look-
to do that, then what are we doing here? You know?
That's what I wanted to ask Misfit, and I wanted to ask him if why would you think that that Mikel Arteta would say, "Welcome back, Thomas." Oh, and by the way, I don't want to see any of that fucking lane splitting passing shite. You can cut that out for a start.
We don't
You know
do
what
that
I mean?
shit around here.
I just want to see. You know what I mean? You be like El Neni, mate. You crab it sideways or kick it back. All right.
Hey,
No,
El
I'm joking,
Neni
right,
passing
but
forward,
Why
okay?
would you tell Partey to like nullify his key trait? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
That's his key trait, right? That's what he does.
yeah. No. We know the last 10 games of the Premier League season are going to be difficult ones. We have 4 difficult away fixtures. I've got that right there in my mind, and we need to be there at the business end of the season. Look, I mean, for me, the stats don't look good. We're 5 points behind with 18 games to go, but we've dropped 20 points this season already. And so if we got maximum points today, we'd get 94 points, but we're not going to get maximum points for the rest of the season. You know?
What kind of delusional
We're
stuff set?
behind from
Hey,
last season, right? We're behind
So-
right, from last season where we are, right? Is that right? Where we were this time last season, we're behind that, right?
We're about 10 points
Points-wise,
behind where we were
goal-wise.
last season. Yeah.
It's not good.
We were on about 53 points. We were on about 53 points.
You know what?
this time
But that
last season.
53 is amazing, right? So we can't look at that and go, oh, well, that's
Yes.
you know what? Like, you know, if you're on like a centurion pace and the next season you're on like an 80-point pace, it's not like you
Yeah.
drop considerably. It's just like those type of opportunities don't come all the time. So
Yeah.
it's not maybe the 53. It might be, you know, we need to be higher in that mid 80s area that we might struggle to
Agree.
get to, right?
Definitely great, but we have about 10 points leeway now in the league if we're going to do anything. What do we think of Liverpool? Are they overachieving a little bit? Will they come back to the pack like we did last season?
it's what happens when you're out of Europe, Ray.
When you're out of Europe, they're in the Europa League. I mean, they're not going to play.
It's not going to play anybody worth a crap there.
Correct.
Either.
Yeah.
They'll play their 17-year-olds and move
At some
on.
point, they will play their starters if they have an opportunity to win.
And they're
Here's the
going to play
question, right?
final in Dublin. Yeah, go ahead, Stan.
Who on our bench could just walk straight into Liverpool's team, and who on Liverpool's bench could walk straight into our team? I would wager that there's probably more on the Liverpool bench that I would rather have. And that's
Because I'll
the
take
difference,
Gakpo
right?
right off the bat. I'm taking
There
Gakpo.
you
I'm
go.
taking Gavin Birch. I'm taking Nunes when
You
he's on
know,
the bench.
You know,
Oh,
they've
with
got a
Trossard?
problem. You know, if they're playing a game and they've got a problem, and for whatever reason their attack seems a little bit toothless that day, they've got a Gakpo that they could bring in. They've got a Nunes they could bring
Oh.
in. They may even bring in a Jota, depending on what's going on. When it comes to
Oh.
us, if our front three are toothless, we've got Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the
Eddie
same.
Nketiah, Trossard,
Full stop. That's
Nelson.
it.
Look, I
But
was
I'm talking
gonna.
about-
I did
yeah, I
start.
mean, even Reece Nelson. I mean, it's not working, is it? To be fair.
I did
You know what
start.
I mean? He's had
did
his
get a
highlights.
start-
He's had his highlights, but he's
Yeah.
not trusted. He knows he's not trusted. So when he does come on, he's shit in his pants. So you're not going to get the best out of him. It's true, right? He's not getting any minutes to improve his game. So they're going to stay stagnant. They're going to be stagnant for that reason. They're never going to kick
But-
on because they're not being allowed to.
I will.
But how do
Go
you
ahead,
go from getting those two
Reece Nelson has
goals?
shown quality. Reece Nelson has shown quality, innit? It takes a lot to come in off the bench, and you're not part of everything.
I'm
and
gonna-
score a winning goal
But he
in the
went
last
in there
minutes
and
and do something like that. So you can
He
see there's
went in
quality
there and
there.
scored He went in there, scored 2 goals, then he just went back to the bench.
Do you know the biggest difference between Jurgen Klopp and Arteta, despite the experience, the more years that Klopp has and he won more things? The biggest difference that I've seen in this season is Jurgen Klopp will put a player on his bench. He will start players. He will play 9 players and you put 2 players on, and he will suffer what they give him in a game. He might not like it, but he will suffer, and Liverpool will suffer with that, and they will get results. Mikel Arteta will not suffer these
No.
players. He
Because
will
you know
not
what? He doesn't
suffer.
trust himself. He chose these
No.
players, and then he doesn't trust himself to put them on the pitch. What's the point of that? That's like hiring. Here you go, Stan. I'm going to hire you to do a job, but guess what? No, I'll just
Better
do
pay
it.
well.
I'll just do it. I'll just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Puts,
That's what he's doing.
he puts
And he- and-
And
Kiwior
here's the
in.
thing
instead
for
of
Mikel, though, right? I think he's brought two players I think of that were supposed to be in a position to be fighting. They should, there were 2 players that Mikel has brought in that, in his eyes, he felt would be chomping at the heels of players in the first 11, and they would be really like, I'm going to have to let these guys in somewhere. It's going to cause me a headache because I'm going to have to rotate. And those 2 players are Teabag and Trossard. I believe that he felt that they would be more important to the team than what they are. In Teabag's case, we paid 35 million for him, which is it's a bit of change, right?
Decent
It's quite a bit
amount.
of change.
It's a
And
Zinchenko
everybody
money.
knows on this channel that I've been backing him from day one and literally willing him to do well. I just really focused on this guy and I really want him to succeed. But I mean, it's been a while now, and it's
He has
looking
been
a bit,
injured.
yeah, his injuries notwithstanding,
Yeah.
he has looked a little bit fruitless, and
But
the other one is
also
Trossard.
not being used.
Again, but again, Trossard, me and you, Ray, even when we were looking at potential
Yeah.
people that we thought we would like to see be brought into Arsenal, even before his name was mentioned, me and you both said, Leandro Trossard, I think he could do something.
Decent player.
And
Yeah.
he can
100%.
come in, he can do good stuff. And then you say to yourself, man, this guy's knocking on the door. He's coming off the bench and he's doing good things and he's banging on the door. He's going to have to get a starting place. And then Mikel goes, okay, I'm going to reward you. Here's your starting place. And he never pays Mikel back. So when you're in that situation now, Mikel must be looking at that player, looking at the benching games and thinking, if I bring this guy on, is he going to raise the game or is he going to fucking make it even worse? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's probably loath to choose those 2 players now because of that. They've not paid him back.
Yeah, and listen, I want to mention the other players on the bench. We'll get into it, but first, I want to highlight Michael's comments here. I still think we lack squad quality. I would have liked to have seen more of Reece Nelson, and then this one, I put a star on this one, Michael, because I like myself a good old double pivot. I like myself a double pivot, and I just think we're better. And we're asking too much of Declan Rice again. Would Jorginho?
We're not gonna play the double pivot.
We have done before. We beat City with the double pivot.
We're not gonna play it that much.
I hope we will.
Ray, you pay that much for a player. You don't do a double pivot. You bought him to be the 6. He's the 6. You just have to figure out the left. The left's the problem because they're a revolving door over there. Kai isn't good enough.
All right, so
You're right.
should
It is a
Jorginho have
revolving
been
door
given
over
more
there.
games
Fucking right,
instead
mate.
of Havertz?
I've been one to always say no Jorginho, but I think he is a player that can start for us, and I think Arteta needs to figure out a way to rotate him into the squad. He's not a player I think that can back up Rice in the sense that Rice goes out for a while. He's going to be able to play and be able. We won't miss him. We won't miss Rice. But he should be part of a rotation.
Yeah.
So in certain games, he should be able to come on and play, and either Rice moves up the pitch or he sits, whichever one. You know what I mean? Because I think he's actually he's more seasoned in that position, so he's more likely to make those passes that we're not seeing right now from Rice. or from that midfield,
Yeah,
essentially.
exactly.
So,
Jorginho has got vision. I remember a goal, an assist he played in the Champions League, maybe for Saka. Yeah, he played inside fullback for Saka. Saka squares it for Trossard. And these are the kind of players who could help a Trossard, who could help a Martinelli in that old pre-assist mode. You know,
So would
Jorginho
you
can be that.
so would you play him as a left 8, Ray?
No, I go with the double pivot. And listen,
we're
just
not
go
doing
with
a
me.
double pivot against West Ham and Fulham. Come on, stop it.
Why? Yeah, we shouldn't
You don't
have
have
to,
be
but
wedded to
No,
it,
but
right?
you're asking. The only time he's going to play, he's going to be in those kind of games.
we
So
could have. We
we're
could
not
have.
gonna. We're not
Yeah,
gonna do. We should. If we have to do a double pivot in those kind of games, then we're in trouble because
on
that
Sunday.
we have more than enough
Should we
games
do it?
that
Should we
Georgina
do it on
we're
Sunday,
required.
Gary?
Look,
Should we
We,
do
why
it?
can't it be a
they're going to be
situation
down
where
two of their Endo's out, right? So
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned, they're down a really crucial part in that midfield.
yeah.
If we have to go and bring in Jorginho, then I think Arteta's got his game plan wrong.
I don't see it as a defensive thing. A double pivot's not defensive for me. What it does is it frees up some space for Martinelli, Saka, Erdegaard, Jesus to work in. You have 4 players in the box now, not 5. That's my thinking behind this. You have a Rice
But
and
why
a
can't it be?
Jorginho.
We don't have 5 people in the box now.
Well,
So
that's the
whatever
intent.
you're saying for me I don't see it. So I don't feel like that's the problem.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I never even I barely see 3 people in the box these days, right? Because by the time we get close to the box, they've already got 7 people in there because we've already pulled it up and went sideways and backwards and everything like
We are
that.
playing too slow.
So then they settle in and they're like
Yeah.
they turn around and look into the box and there's like 6 defenders there waiting for them, kind of, So
Yeah.
it is we just I don't get it. I don't get Arteta's. I just feel like he should be. Either he's coaching it or he's letting it happen. I say that all the time.
Yeah, you haven't said it in a while.
It doesn't make any sense.
Gary brings it out again. He hasn't said it in 2 seasons.
Why can't
Right?
Why can't we play in a way where it may be Declan Rice and Jorginho as Ray wants in the double pivot when we're off the ball, but then when we're on the ball, why can't then Declan Rice move into that left 8 position?
Sure.
And move himself forward. So then it leaves Jorginho, Declan Rice could maybe have that same sort of like nous that Xhaka had, getting into the box when it's time, or being in the defense and helping out Thomas Partey. Because that's what Xhaka used to do, right? He kind of used to play in between the two, depending on what was happening.
As well.
But do you think that could, but do you also think that, throwing in my devil's advocate card, that could also be a part of the problem? Because you have that saying, right? You had one job. You had one job, that saying, right? But if you look at Arsenal players, that saying doesn't seem to work, because there are a lot of our players that seem to have more than one job to do. And do you think that could be a problem? Do you think that by sometimes players having 2 jobs to do, for example, Gabriel Megalegs has to know that every time Zinchenko goes joyriding into the midfield, he's got to get over there if something's going down. And now we've split the 2 of them, and Declan Rice now comes back into the defense. And then it's like that. We've got the 3 of them with Declan Rice there, like we mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm getting at?
I think that's a great point. Double pivot out of possession, but in possession, you can do that where Declan Rice ventures into that left 8 position that Tony's talking about. And, Martinelli needs help out there in the left wing. I don't know what's going on with Martinelli. He's really lacking in confidence. And those players are going to get picked. Saka and Martinelli are getting picked. We still never really seen Partey and Rice, Erdegaard midfield as when Thomas Partey was healthy. Don't mention right back, please. Don't mention right back and Partey in the same sentence. We've seen it. It hasn't worked.
Stan, is he saying right back or right back?
Right back.
Feed me more. Tony keeps coming in with wrestling like little.
This
little
is a
he's
football
slipping them in
show.
there.
Yeah.
Can we
You
just
keep
talk about
slipping them
football?
in
It's a
there.
carryover from
You
the
just,
previous
you just did your
podcast.
wrestling. You
Tony,
should be all tapped out
I've never
on that.
put one person. Tony, I've never put one person on the list twice yet.
Well, he is begging. He's begging for.
So what is a ride back? What is a ride back? Should I even be asking?
No, Ray, what in the world's wrong
Tony,
with you
floor is yours.
today? Let's move
Come
on,
on.
please.
Come on,
Don't
Stan.
give Tony.
Tell her
Gary,
who right back
I'm
You
very
like giving?
poorly
No, yeah.
informed.
Just
Very poorly
It's a
informed.
move
wrestler.
on. Let's move on.
It's a wrestler, Ray.
No,
Alright.
you
I've
know
got a
what?
feeling
We
that
don't
Mr.
want.
Tom right
know-
now, Mr. Tom right now is twisting and turning in his sleep. He's
It is bad. He can't sleep.
online.
Can't sleep.
Ryback. You can hear it.
He's listening somewhere. He's got his curly locks on the pillow, but he's listening. We want to hear.
It's
Yeah.
like one of those. He's like having a fever dream. Right.
Steven said Arteta would have changed things by now if he thought there was a problem. It makes you wonder if we can all see it. Why doesn't he? Exactly. I often wonder that myself, Stephen. I think we lack the quality. I would have liked to have seen more of Reece Nelson. Exactly.
Why re-sign a player if you don't want to play? I'm a broken record.
Strange.
If you don't want to play someone, then sell them.
He did that three
not-
times for Niles. He's
We're
like,
not a,
I'm not there to sell
not-
you.
we're not
Wenger's
a,
done it,
Yeah,
hasn't he?
yeah.
To be fair,
we're
Wenger
not a
done it.
team that can
Lucas
afford to
Perez.
have
Good man.
stragglers on, right? No, we need people who are helping out. Like they're not helping out if you can't see a way for them to get on the pitch, right? If
Yeah.
they can only play when it doesn't matter, right? Or when you don't care, like the West Ham match in the AFL, right?
So what does this break down to? Is it Arteta just doesn't trust the players, or he just wants to go with the players that he's handpicked that he knows?
They have to really
Yeah, yeah.
screw up for him to make a significant change.
I mean, I think he's very, very set on control of possession and being in the right position each and every time. And
So when Saka gave up the ball in the West Ham or the Fulham
Fulham.
match like 5 times?
Yeah.
So why did he stay on the pitch?
yeah,
But-
yeah, good question.
But shouldn't Nelson be making 20, 30-minute cameos where
Absolutely, Tony. Absolutely.
where he has like 8 to 10?
All
like
of the players,
eight-
all of the players
eight-
on the bench should be doing that, Tony. All the
I'll
players.
go different with it. I'll go 8 to 12 instead of 8 to 10 goals. But he really should.
Yeah.
He should be like Smith Rowe that was that year.
Yeah, and Michael said here, and I tend to agree with it. You know, playing Jorginho does allow Saka and Martinelli to have more space, do the business on the wings, like last season with Partey and Xhaka. We just have different personalities now in midfield.
The problem is that Arteta put so much trust in Partey's health.
Yeah.
He did. He put so much trust in his
I-
health that he thought he could do whatever he wants with him. Will be fine. And I think that was like, you're playing with fire, you get burned. You just sealed up and then you go play with it again. I mean, that's exactly what he did.
I mean, not that I'm going to equate Thomas Partey to Thiago, but there is similarity with injuries there. That's a player that Liverpool relied on for a few seasons. Injuries let them down last season, Gary, and I've even mentioned at the beginning of last season, Liverpool would not have a good season because of their midfield. It was crying out they needed to change their midfield. I just probably didn't happen to see it with Arsenal. You know, we were crying out. We were living off of 2 30-year-olds, Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey in our midfield.
Yeah.
And was not sustainable. Now we've got Declan Rice, and we look at this, our midfield, and say, if we have a £105 million injury this season, we're looking at some players that are not.
And I bet you when Rice was playing at West Ham, he was playing with players that probably cost a lot less than what we have, and they look better than we look right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
obviously we are.
we pay
spending our money
a
correctly
premium.
sometimes.
We
A
pay
premium for. We're not playing a premium for quality all the time.
Not all the time.
We take
Yeah.
you take a 65
I
million
mean,
pound risk.
Jorginho was not
Nobody
a
usually
bad
does that.
investment. Jorginho was not a bad investment at 15.
No, he
12.
isn't, but he's not a long term. He is
Six.
not a
Mhm.
full time starter for us.
Yeah.
Like if you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
he can
Definitely.
start for us, but he's not some player that we want to depend on to play out a month for us, for example.
So
Look
we're
what we got out of Gabriel for 27 million.
But they
Yeah.
took a risk on a player that
Gabriel.
panned out. But then they went and I think he was over 20, right? 20
I
mil
think
for
he
him.
made the list, right, Stan?
But
Mikel
those
Arteta.
players,
27.
I just say every play under 20 mil,
He didn't make the
fails.
list.
No,
Oh,
no.
I thought Mega Legs
I
made the
like
list.
Mega Legs.
No,
I
he,
thought
no,
he
No, I
made
think
the
no.
list.
Mega Legs is a great player.
He made the top.
Great buy.
He made the ones that worked.
Yeah.
That's what he means.
Yeah, he's
Before
on the
we
work
get
side of
into
that.
the before we get into the forwards, I want to mention Emile Smith-Rowe, and there's some kind of neglect there
Who?
from
Who?
the
Who?
forgotten man, the forgotten man.
Doesn't ring any bells, mate. Doesn't ring any bells.
The
Don't know who that
night-
is.
December 26th, Tony.
Let's just say he's got more minutes than Reece Nelson, who's not been injured for most of the season. So
Wasn't it earlier in December than that, Ray?
December 26th.
I
He
don't
came into the
believe you.
team, probably saved Mikel Arteta's job. You know what I mean? Who knows
I
what
thought
would
it-
have happened?
I thought it was earlier in December than that.
It was December 26th, Boxing Day, Stevens Day. We beat Chelsea 3-1. Later in the new year, that season in the new year, Saka turned up on the right wing, and he's been there since, against West Brom. Okay, let's go into the forwards. Any other chat about Emile Smith-Rowe, or is he done at Arsenal? Do we
Should
have
be.
to start thinking about what we're going to get for a player like Emile Smith-Rowe? Doesn't look.
we're not going to get anything for him.
You have to recruit. You have to sell him. You have to sell him in the winter window to get anything worthy.
Do you
It's
think?
still not a meet.
He's worth 30 million at least.
Yeah, but
He's
he'll,
not worth
Do
what
you
you
think,
think he
right?
is.
Aston
he'll
Villa
go
wanted
for
to
under
buy him, didn't they, for 35 million?
20
They
or
were
under.
putting an offer. Do you think we can get an offer like that again? 35 million.
Nope. Not unless
You really
somebody's
don't?
in like injury crisis.
Really?
Yeah, we will.
Oh. I don't think so.
No.
What about Crystal Palace? And I know it's January.
No, we did it again. You know what? Oops, I did it again. We did it again.
Britney Spears?
What?
Somebody wanted to stop. Oops, yep. Somebody
Oh.
wanted to purchase a player
Britney.
of ours for more
Yes,
money.
in Britney
Than,
Spears
think
impression,
about
yeah,
it. Remember
Gary?
when the teams came in for Emile
Hit me,
Smith-Rowe, we're
baby.
all like, "Nah, we're not going to sell him, right? Because he's a star,
Hit me,
right?"
Gary, one more time.
Yeah, exactly. They did it. They just hit me, man. But no, I think they did it again. They don't. He's he's not reliable for us. We could have got. Think about if we got the 30. Was it 30 mil they wanted or 25? Whatever it
Aston
was.
Villa wanted, about close to 40.
So,
So once again, we've done it again.
Aston
A player who hasn't been reliable for us can be sold for 30. Like we always talk about, how did they buy that player? He never did anything for them, right? So now we've had this twice now, right? And we know of Maitland-Niles, not really a solid player. He does, a lot of issues coming in and out of the lineup because of where he
Maitland-Niles.
wants to play. We didn't want to sell him for 40, gone on the free. Emile Smith-Rowe, somebody wants him for 35. Nope. No, we're going to keep him.
We increase his contract. We give him more salary. So now, if he's going to be sold, the buying team has to think, we've got to pay him more, right? Because when Aston Villa came in, we then increased his contract after that. So he's been given
to increase his value. All it's done is decrease it now. I hate that. I hate that phrase that comes up every now. Reece Nelson doesn't want to go wherever because he wants to fight for his place. So fight for your place, or let's re up on you so we can
that means
increase your
to fight
value.
for your place if you're not getting the minutes.
Also,
what
could
are
mean,
you fighting for?
It could also mean I like my wages. I want to fight for my place. I like the money I'm on. It could mean that
they don't have a good football
London's pretty
career. They never have a good football career though, and then they
No.
eventually do leave and they go and enjoy themselves a lot more.
Yeah.
Why don't you
Innit?
go have that happiness sooner, right?
Why would you
Spencer's
want to
got a
move
good
from
point
London?
here.
Why would you want to stop living in London and then live in Luton? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Spencer's raising an interesting point. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. Zach Steffen was purchased by the Colorado Rapids today.
So we're gonna
If,
somebody else hand me downs now.
if Ramsdale leaves, it's Man City. He was a Man City backup keeper.
Yeah, but every time we take somebody's hand me downs, how well does it work out?
I mean, it gets you to a
It
certain
doesn't
level.
quite fit, Gary. The
Zach
sleeves are usually
Steffan's
too
going to
long.
get us to a better position in goalkeeper than what we have right now.
I mean, what you'd be doing is selling
You end up-
Ramsdale for
basically,
35.
Gary, you end up
think
being that
you
kid that
think
goes to school
you
in the
think Zach
hand-me-downs and you
Stefan
get bashed
is going to
up
get
for
us
it.
to a better position than goalkeeper?
He's a
that we have
backup
now?
keeper, Gary.
So you're saying he's better than Turner? So that's worth why we're going to do him?
Yes, he's better than Turner, don't you believe?
I don't know. He hasn't been playing,
Is he
right?
better than Runnison?
Yes,
Another one of our purchases.
but not better
That's
than
another one. He's on the
Matt
list.
Matt
I think
Ryan. He
Runnison
was
is
pretty
on the
good.
list. Runnison made
Tony,
the list.
steer us
Relevant.
away from the goalkeeping conversation, will you?
What?
Now we can talk about goalkeepers because Mr. Tom's not here.
Goalkeeping situation. We can't talk about goalkeepers here, Tony, right?
So even Mr. Tom's here. We can't do that.
You and Gary have a market on goalkeeper conversations.
We got it cornered. So if Thomas Partey is not ready, should we have Havertz back in midfield on Sunday or Jorginho, and then Ray gets Rice further up? We'll talk about the lineup, and I don't pick the team. Uncle Mikel, Uncle Artie does that.
So we're not. So we might as well not talk about anything then, because Uncle.
Oh no, definitely we'll talk about it. Yeah, for sure. Lewis Kelly,
Thanks
that
for
was a
tuning in,
good
everyone.
player.
Good night.
You know what?
Played
All
well,
the-
right, for Newcastle.
You know what the problem is? Right now we're like talking about all these players that we want to bring in. We haven't even given any of our academy players a chance. Right, not a chance. And every team that you've looked at has a player on their bench that have actually played that's under 20 years old, under 18 years old that's played. I mean, I think it's terrible. Like, you know, we're looking for players, and they might be there, and even if they're not the quality that you want, they're better than not playing them.
Look, I got my believers out there, Gary.
And he must have paid him or something. Moss give the money back. It's not worth it. It's not worth
that
it.
Ross. It would appear that Moss
I
prays
speak
in the
sense.
Church of Ray. Moss prays in the Church of Ray. You would say.
Yeah, he took. You know what? He drank the Kool-Aid, and now he doesn't. He's seeing things. You know.
I need help out here. I need my followers on my side.
But
being
but
outnumbered.
It was also on your. I
It's
believe
against
that Moss
one
was
here.
also on your side about Nuno Tavares. So you know.
Hey, Gary said
Saying
that wouldn't
that.
be brought against me again. Gary
But
said
Ray-
that would not be held against me.
But
Tony.
Ray, it's crazy. Like, we haven't went to the academy, but we have the youngest player to ever premiere in the Premier League, and we've never seen the lad
Because
again.
we just did that was just for marketing.
Oh, one
That was
area.
so, everybody
Yeah.
said, "Oh no, it's footballing reasons." No, it wasn't. It's not footballing reasons.
So do
Marketing reasons.
you believe the likes of Patino will come through the Arsenal team, or will he be sold?
No.
You know, one area,
No.
will he play for Arsenal in a few years?
It's
How long has
it's
Mikel Arteta been
Arteta.
our manager now?
Arteta is
Four.
playing. Arteta
Okay.
is playing players he signed, Greg.
So-
Four
That's how
seasons.
he's playing.
So in 4 seasons or 4 years or whatever you want to call it, how many youngsters has Mikel Arteta brought into the first team? There are none. The youngsters were already there. The youngsters, Martinelli was already on the scene. Saka was already on the scene. You know, they were
Minus
showing
one match.
they were showing Mikel that they belonged, so he couldn't do nothing. But he hasn't
And
brought anyone in, is there?
That's a big difference between
We
him
see
and
him on the
Klopp. You
bench
know?
all the time. We see him on the bench
Yeah.
all the time, don't we? They travel to these places, they go, and it doesn't matter if we're winning, 5-2. They don't come on and get a few minutes.
And look,
But
we
some of
were
the
linked with
Well, the
Turner.
reason why they don't call him is because he
That's been
doesn't
a bit-
rotate his players in general. So
We
when
were
he
linked
finally
with
has,
a
bit,
he finally has an opportunity
stagnating.
to, when he finally have an opportunity to play, players from your bench. He's like, oh, I
He sold
haven't
Balogun
played.
quick, man.
I
Balogun could have been there. But he
That's-
sold him quick, mate.
And we were linked with
Kept
Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones this week. I know it's January, but
Why are
we
we
were
going? What?
we were linked
What?
with a
We
Liverpool
need
player.
we need legitimate players.
Michael said our centre backs have great recovery if we play Jorginho. You know, coverage on men's.
Can I say something else as well? If I was
Yeah.
the owner of Arsenal right now, I would sit Mikel down at the beginning of the season, and I'd be like, you know what? We've got an academy, and the academy costs us money, and we've got these, we've hired all of these decent coaches to run that academy, and you keep going out and buying these youngsters like Lokonga, like Tavares, like Marquinhos, and you telling me then that you think that these players are better than what we've got in our academy? What's
No.
the deal here? Because you're going out there, right? I'm giving you the money to go and get these guys, and they're not making it. They're not cutting it. So here's the deal. You don't go out and buy any. You want to go buy players, fine, but you're not buying any more kids because I want to see some of these kids coming through, and let's see whether it's worth it or not. Let's find out. If not, we can try and turn a profit on them. But no more going to Brazil and bringing in like people for 6-7 million, or like the Congas of this world and that, because it's not working. And if you're in the academy and you're trying to get your step up, and you see the club brings in somebody that plays in your position, you play on the right hand side of midfield, and you've been working away, and then they go and buy a player that's on the right, same age as you, from the other side of the world. You're thinking to yourself, well, they don't obviously rate me. They don't rate me. Because I'd be moved up and someone below would be moved into my place.
Does Arteta just not want to coach him? Is that the problem? Or what's the issue?
He will not entertain any inadequacies in a player's game.
Yeah, but we have these young players that we've seen sitting on the bench and they've been training.
He plays him. Kirior is
have
not a left back. He plays him. Come on, stop it. No, it doesn't.
He doesn't play Kirior. Come on. He took Kirior off.
Eddie Nketiah cannot play center forward like the way he wants him to. Efficiency right there.
I'm sorry, he's not a left back.
Fabio Vieira can't play like Erdegaard, the skills he needs. Nope, not there.
Right.
And that's why they got him. I
got no answers. I got no answers then. Stan daring me to get multiple list spots from Moss here. Declan Rice seemed really upset after the Fulham game. Hopefully with Partey returning, he takes.
Hopefully, hopefully they use that fire against Liverpool.
Yeah,
that's what we need to be pissed off at.
How can we play differently? Because BX Gunner said our team, a change is needed from somewhere. Is that a mindset? Is that a determination? Because is that a change of how we're going to play?
For me, it's a mindset.
Do we get rid of Jesus and Eddie Nketiah? Because we sat here and given Eddie chances. Last January, we sat here. Now we're going to really see who Eddie Nketiah is. And
we've seen all. Nothing's going to change. What do you mean we're going to see?
If Eddie scored 10 goals in this calendar year,
we're in trouble. That's what I've been telling you. It's not a good sign when he's leading us in scoring. It's not a good sign.
Is the Emirates crowd quieter than Anfield?
Hold on, you've moved away from this question.
Like Ray's just like he doesn't. We start going and man, like you know what the weather was yesterday.
Salt by. I'm just doing my salt by thing. Sprinkling salt everywhere. Jump in, Stan.
BX is asking, do we need a change of formation? And I would definitely agree. And the change that I would make in my non-football trainer coach, I don't do none of that. But what I would do, I would go to a 4-4-2 formation. I would keep Gabriel Jesus. And Gabriel Jesus where's he going to play? You take out the person that's playing left 8 and Gabriel Jesus goes into that position. It doesn't mean that he plays as a left 8. It just means that he's now that person in the squad. And you play him as a second striker. And we buy a striker. We buy an Ivan Toney, or we buy a Victor Osimhen, or we buy a Vlahovic as our main striker. But I think that with a main striker,
in January,
Gabriel Jesus can probably do a better job, because Gabriel Jesus, I think, is probably one of the closest forward players that plays like Thierry Henry. And what I mean by that is the way that he drops deep and comes for the ball and tries to make things happen. Like that assist that he made for Martinelli when he turned and passed the ball to Martinelli and Martinelli took the ball. That's very similar to what Thierry Henry used to play like, very deep and picking up the ball in deep areas. The only problem is he doesn't have the finishing. He doesn't have the efficiency. He can find himself in front of the box, in front of the goal, and he'll put the fucker wide or put it straight at the keeper. But I think if he's playing in and around somebody who's more clinical, he will chip in with the goals and assist, and he'll be really handy for us. So I still think there's a place for him in our team, but the formation will have to change. And I don't know if Mikel's going to do that.
Play him next to
4-4-2 diamond for me. It's a 4-4-2 diamond with Jesus playing slightly deeper, so that the 4-4-2 at times is a 5 because it comes into the midfield. You know, it's all about the movement and how it stays static on the paper. When you see the lineup and the piece of paper, it doesn't have to stay like that on the ball or off the ball. You know?
Yeah.
That's my opinion on that.
I'm coming. Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't do that format too much. What we do, like just 2 or 3 games and moved on from it.
Two up fronts coming back. You see it all the time. I watch Match of the Day here in Canada, and you see the lineups, and 2 players up front is coming back. How long have I been saying it? It's like fashion. Yeah. It's like flared jeans. They came back in the mid-90s, didn't they? Just come back.
Michael, me and Stan both kept asking for it. It's like, give us 2 strikers again.
It's coming. Everything comes back in the end. Michael, has Ramsdale not playing also changed us? I'm coming around to that. Narrative. You know, having Ryan goal is not maybe beneficial for us, but it's a difficult one still for me. Listen, the chaos that Liverpool have in Nunes, we need something like that on Sunday. We need a player who can create chaos in the number 9 position. For me, I'd put Havertz up there. I don't know what the 3 of you think of that, but we need something.
Instead of
Gary's gonna lose his shit if Eddie Nketiah is playing up front on Sunday. Am I wrong, Gary?
Gary won't be the only one.
I mean, it's one of those things where you look around, there's nobody there. They put the lineup up, and you're like, "What the world's going on?" You look around, and everybody's there with you, all with the pick forks, with the picket signs, all like ready to go. It's like I want him to be good for Arsenal, but he's not. So you know what? He's not. So can we please just move on? Like I've heard that we won't sell him because for one reason we won't sell him, and his team's interested in him. Please,
Crystal Palace.
It doesn't matter who it is, but somebody's interested in one of our players. You sell them. You know why? Because they won't be interested tomorrow. Sell your players when they're interested.
If Eddie could score 15 goals a season in the league and maybe chip in with some other goals in other competitions, I wouldn't want to sell him for the world. It doesn't mean that he'd be our number 1 striker, but it would mean that he can come in off the bench, he can play in other competitions, and you're getting 15 goals.
Yeah.
And he's one of your own. You've not cost you any money to buy that person, and it's somebody that you brought through from the academy. I would be more than happy with that, but he's not able to do it, is he?
Yeah.
But we're probably
to Spencer's point,
and he's not
Curtis Jones is going to cost us money. I don't want it. We're not spending that money for Curtis Jones. We need something more
a decent
a bigger answer, right?
I don't know nothing about Curtis Jones. Seriously, I know nothing about Curtis Jones.
He's a Liverpool youngster who's, he's been playing a certain amount of games. Huh?
How old is he?
About the same age as Martinelli. Maybe early 20s.
But Eddie wouldn't give a start of most of the third choice strikers we've had. It's weird we just have one striker.
I think. What's that, Tony?
I said it's weird that you have Eddie that, to me, isn't any better than like any of our third strikers we've had. Like, you can even go to Bettner. Bettner's a better scorer than Eddie is.
Yeah, 100%. Nicholas Bentner scored a decent amount of goals for Arsenal. 50 or something, I think, in his time.
Yeah, I think it's like 54 or something
Yeah.
like that.
BX said, as crazy as it sounds, I think Eddie thrives somewhere else in a simpler system. I hope Crystal Palace are that team, and we get 30 plus for him.
But the problem with Eddie is that he's only good in the box. He
Yes.
cannot do anything outside the box.
I know. I sat with Gary for the game at MetLife Stadium as the interest drained from his body watching Eddie and Kedia.
Gary's like, can we go home yet?
It started off with 200% excitement, and it drained to 50%.
That's when you knew the game was over. It's like, come on, man, you're killing me, man.
Gary runs out on the field.
You know what? And Katie, just give the pitches back to Arteta so he can sell you. Just give the pitches back.
I think a lot of players might have pictures, Gary. The McChronicle said no one wants to say it, but after the season, there's serious questions to ask about Arteta. Stale squad. He never wants to play the academy. He hasn't won a trophy since 2020. That's the part one of two here. After the support the club and fans have given you, they're obliged by the fans and club to win. Exactly. You know, I am starting to think this game could be our Alex Ferguson moment.
I put up my goals for the season, right? And,
yes, you did.
We've already failed on one, and if we don't make it past Liverpool, that'll be two.
But Gary, we beat Liverpool. We've got a really decent chance of going deep in this competition.
Yeah, no. Well, I said I needed to see us get into the semis of both of the domestic cups and a top three finish and out of the group and.
Tony, come on.
In Champions League.
Right? There's a joke there, Tony. Come on.
Achievable goals that could be made that would show progress, because the only way
Gary wants the semi, Tony.
The only way this team is going to succeed is if we compete on four fronts. And the only way we compete on four fronts is if we utilize our squad. We don't do that. So that's
I don't know. I don't know if Gary has enough blood flow to have a semi.
Yeah, listen, if we get through Liverpool, we get a draw in the fourth round.
Doesn't matter, Ray. It doesn't matter.
What doesn't matter?
You beat Liverpool, and what?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It does matter, Gary.
Don't matter.
Don't you want to win the FA Cup for a 15th time?
Yeah, but we've got to just beat some teams. That's all.
Okay, that's what you're saying. Sometimes I find it difficult to read you.
Yeah, no, we need to play whatever team we have to play. But we can beat any team. What team can we not beat? Ourselves.
Maybe a City.
We already beat them twice this year.
Yeah.
You beat them twice this year. No matter what anybody says, we beat them twice this year. Charity game, whatever you want to call it. They have not beaten us this year.
You have to win 6 games. You win the FA Cup if you get through 6 teams, and start with Liverpool on Sunday. And look, there's our record. We have the best record of FA Cup wins. Look, I sometimes think our fan base feels a little bit entitled. I think Tom has mentioned Arsenal fans being entitled.
But don't you still want to be chasing the Premier League instead of worrying about
Tony, we're winning it. We have to win everything, Tony.
Yes.
Because
we're not going to win everything.
Guess what? You're not guaranteed any of those things.
Let me flip that on you, Tony.
So to say that, you know what, we should be thinking about the Premier League means, guess what? You're not thinking of the squad when you think that way.
How many players are we playing? We're playing like 14 players.
You know what? It's a learning curve. That's the problem with a young coach. He doesn't understand. He needs to have a squad he can depend on. He still doesn't get it. He still doesn't get that. We're in year 4, and he'll still look at his bench and go, Saka's been terrible for the last 60 minutes.
Yeah, he's looking at his bench like
Martinelli's not giving me anything. Jesus,
I have a question, Gary.
Nothing.
I have a question for Gary. If that's the deal, right, and that's what his mindset is, he's got an assistant coach and other people around him, you know,
I've
like
been
on the
talking.
bench
I've
and
been
that,
complaining about them a lot.
are they not saying anything to him?
I've been
Are they not
complaining
trying to
about them
say,
all day. I'm like, what are
or
they?
are they saying it to him? And he's like, no,
I
no.
I
Is he
hope
like,
so,
no,
I
the
hope
buck
they
stops
are
with
saying
me?
it because I can't believe nobody in
You know?
that squad is looking at what's happening and goes, you know what, Arteta, it's probably time. You know what, Saka probably needs to come out. You know what, Martinelli needs to come out or move him to the middle. Do something different. It's not working. What you just planned all
It
week,
doesn't.
what you just practiced for the last couple of days,
Well,
guess what? It's not working. We are peppering that goal. Oh no, we're not even peppering the goal. We are peppering that 18. We're getting nothing out of it. Something's got to change. Hey, guess what? Reece Nelson looks hungry every time he comes on the pitch. Why don't you put him out there and move things around? If you really want to keep Saka on the pitch, move Saka back to left back. I don't. It doesn't. Kyrgios is not going to do it for us. Put Saka back there. Now you've got somebody who can overlap.
hmm.
You know what I mean?
But
I mean,
Ray,
you know,
Let me,
you've got different approaches
Ray,
you can take that we've seen.
Tony, you got a question for me?
yeah, going back to the academy, you got the BFG. When's the last time you heard anything from BFG, like about how the academy players are progressing? You hear nothing from him. I mean,
You hear a little bit about
Isn't
BRF
Jack Wilshere
players who
involved?
are on loan.
Jack Wilshere's involved, right?
Who? Yeah, Wilshire's
So I'm
involved
just
as
saying
well.
that isn't Jack Wilshere
Yeah,
involved with the youngsters somewhere?
but look, I mean, I hope there's a plan for the academy players to come into the senior team as well.
it's not gonna happen, Ray.
Arsenal's always been that club who
Yeah,
give
What do
but I
these
you?
know.
What'd
players
you
a
bring
chance.
it up for? If you're just going to say it's not going to happen.
I'm gonna ask you a question now, Tony. You said something about not let's worry about the Premier League. Let me flip that on you. Should we not be worried about the FA Cup? Like if we binned off the FA Cup against Southampton 2 seasons ago with a lineup, and Nottingham Forest 3 seasons ago with a lineup, it's incumbent upon this manager now to actually go for trophies and win trophies. And yes, be competitive in the Premier League, but why can't we go for it against Liverpool with a 2-week holiday coming up as well?
But we only got 14 players you trust in. You can't go for
I know, but
multiple
that
competitions.
you go out into that game with the intention. You tell those players we're playing at home, and you have a chance now to redeem yourself against Liverpool, who are maybe overachieving. Maybe they're doing this season what we were doing last season, and it's up to us or other teams to reel that Liverpool team back in the league. And we're going to face them in early February in the league, Tony, and we're going to need to have this game behind us to give us that confidence at the Emirates to go and beat. I want to beat Liverpool twice in the space of 4 weeks. You know,
High
that's all I'm
hopes,
saying.
Ray.
Huh?
High hope. Said you have high hopes.
You do hope as well, though. You know, I have high hopes. Double O Slice said, I don't think we are different from many teams when buying these unknown youngsters is based on potential. The thing is, a team like City can afford to take a hit. If it doesn't work out, we can't. And it's all down to identifying talent and bringing it in and making it work. And to your point, Stan, and the list, there's levels to this. I mean, I know you were talking about the conversations you were having on X, Twitter. There's levels to this. The players that you've identified are those players that can get us to a league title or maybe winning in Europe. You know, but the players who have maybe not made the cut, they were good enough to get us into top 4. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say?
What players?
Yeah, I do. Someone was saying that in the conversation that, you know, a good example you could say would be Kieran Tierney, that you get a player that is good for a period of time and they get you to a certain level, but then you need to upgrade on that.
Yes.
But some of these players seem like they've only been on the scene for 5 minutes.
Yes.
You've probably got like a 5-year contract. So it's like, is that what we're doing then? We're going to be upgrading players every 18 months. I mean, how do you build a foundation?
Yeah,
Do
so
you
you
know what I
would.
mean?
Yeah, you've only got so many. Only gonna got so many spots in your squad.
I mean,
We
let's
can't.
just have a look at two. Let's just pick two examples, right? Pick two. Let's pick two
Yeah.
examples. The Willian coming to Arsenal. He's flourishing at Fulham, and fair play to him. But it just did
Yeah.
not work out. And at the same time, a little bit like what was the comment that I saw earlier that I thought was a great comment
In this chat box
about
here.
yeah
No.
about taking about we always go for other teams' young players instead of trusting our own. And in that case, we bought in a Willian.
About Curtis
We
Jones,
always,
maybe.
PX Gunner. We're always in for other teams' teenagers except our own. And another case there is it's like we bring in a Willian on high wages, and yeah, we did get him on a free or whatever it is. But then you got like a player that we've spent 72 million on in Nicola Pepe, and then he's just frozen out.
Yep.
Do you know what I
But
mean? His growth, his pathway is just frozen out.
So like
And maybe
Willian,
Pepe
it was
wasn't.
like,
Maybe Pepe wasn't the answer, but in the environment of Arsenal, I would say that Pepe, over the time that he did have appearances, contributed more than what Willian did, even though Willian is flourishing in another environment.
Mhm.
Another one is Cedric Suarez. You know, we went ahead and paid 5 million 6 months early to get him when we could have waited 6 months and got him for free because somebody decided that we really needed him.
These
Do you
players
know
are
what I
like,
mean? What I'm
yeah,
saying?
they're like,
Yeah.
they're like an anchor in the ocean that you can't lift, so the boat can't sail.
And I get it.
You know?
I get it. I get it. You get successes like the Martinellis come along that you find playing in the streets of Brazil barefoot using watermelons as keepy up unknowns, and you bring them into a team and they're like, wow. But at the same time, you do have kids in the academy, and if you are playing on the right side of midfield, and you bring in someone like a Marquinhos, what kind of confidence does it give to you that you're going to get an opportunity to have a pathway when you see that the team is going out and buying players the same age as you that playing your position and they're spending money on it? So if they're no good, then we should be selling these players in the academy. Let's just sell them and make some money on it. You know, it's one or the other. And I do think it seems to be a problem.
Tony?
There are a lot of them that's been asking for transfers or just transfer away. I mean, there's so many
Walkers and Inyari, these names I keep hearing about. Skelly, Patino, I keep hearing about these names. They seem to have big great potential, but we never get to. They never get an opportunity. They're training with the first team. Apparently, they're on the bench. They're traveling, but even when we're winning 5-2, they can't get a sniff. Then come on. I mean,
and then
Jesus
gets 5 minutes in that game. What?
It's in the bag, right?
What do you? What? What is?
You know?
What? Tell me what part of football management says? Guess what? You're up. What 5-0 in the first 60 minutes of a match? Guess what? I need to bring in my starting center forward for 5 minutes at the end of this thing. Like, what's the thought process there? What, and that's what I was saying. Like, we were talking about like what
I get it if
Arsenal's
there's
doing.
an injury thing and you've got to get minutes in the legs. I get that.
He just played. He just played the game before. No, but like, no, think about it. Like, you're just thinking about it. Like, you go on YouTube, you pull up that video, you sit down as a coaching staff and you look at it. Are they actually looking at, like, they talk about doing this video review? Have they not looked at those same plays that we just saw?
Yeah.
And like said, you know what are we doing wrong here? Or Rice, what is going through your head when you get the ball?
You have players like Rice and maybe Erdegaard dropping deep, and they have opportunities to play balls forward, and they do not do it. They refuse. And that didn't happen just once in that video. And I know you can cut a video to show, but
it doesn't matter. It happens like when you can show like 20 scenarios where a pass was there and we didn't even take it. It's not like we're making things up here, and it's just like out of context or something like that.
Yeah. McConaughey said winning the FA Cup puts a winning mentality into the players. Still below par for me, but it's a trophy. Look, when Liverpool couldn't win the league, they went and won the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. They did a cup double. Arsenal have done a cup double in their past as well. If you cannot win the league, then you win what you can. You
Well,
know what I
no,
mean?
yeah, but that's not what we're doing. You know this,
Shiny,
right? We're
shiny
not
things.
doing this because we're going into here we go another cup match where we're playing a team who's probably not gonna, well, in this case, not gonna play some of their starters, like just
We
like
don't
we
know.
played.
We don't know what Liverpool are
They're
going to
not
do.
playing Salah because he's not playing.
Well,
They're
that's
not playing
one.
Endo because he's not playing. They're
Yeah.
probably not playing Schlabberslike because he's injured, right?
Mhm.
So they aren't playing some of their top players in this game.
They're going to put the best
Already,
team out that they can,
yes.
Gary.
So who are we missing?
Who are we going to miss? Well, we know who we're missing.
We're gonna miss Tomiyasu.
Partey,
That's it, right? Partey hasn't played for most of this. He's not a player right now.
Timber.
Well, no.
We're not missing anybody.
Our best 11 right now. We're missing one player, right?
Mhm.
Tomiyasu, right? That's it.
Yeah.
So we should
We're
be
almost.
able to compete with them, and we should be able to get something out of this game.
And Nigel's back from last time. So congratulations, Nigel. You won. Liverpool are doing well, but they
Yeah.
come to the Emirates, and we don't fear Liverpool coming to the Emirates. We didn't fear Liverpool at Anfield. Now I
Well,
think
it's all
we've
depends on what's the mentality of our
tail off.
manager. Is he thinking we're playing at home? We're going out there to get the win,
Yes,
or is he going to go out there and set up his team to not lose?
we have a manager here who is. What do you want to credit him with winning the FA Cup or not? He has won it as a manager.
But he's not playing that style, so it's a
Yeah.
totally. So for me, it's like not even the same team
What
anymore.
what if
Like,
we play? What if we play
Look,
with the
can I ask-
handbrake
can I
off,
ask a question
Gary?
there?
On
When
Sunday?
we're not, can I ask a quick, sorry to butt in there and do a Tony.
Yeah.
I'm taking his place, right? He's not here. So when
If you can
when
balance
Arteta
ice
won
cream
the
on your
FA
belly,
Cup,
then you can do Tony. Yeah, go ahead.
what
I'm
round did
si-
Mikel
I'm,
Arteta?
I'm sending a fine to you, Stan. Sending a fine.
All right,
What
Tony.
round did Mikel Arteta
Stan.
come in with the FA Cup? He came in whereabouts? He didn't start at the beginning
The
of the
beginning. He
competition.
started
Where
at the
did he come in?
beginning. He
Oh, did he?
started at the beginning.
And it's fair to say that Aubameyang in that period was a big help in that competition.
yeah,
He
and Emmy
was.
Martinez was a good
And
big help in that
and
thing.
after that, Mikel, he rewarded
We-
Aubameyang, didn't he? Gave him a nice bump in the contract. So
Yep,
you'd think they'd be best of friends, right? Good
Yes.
start to a relationship, right?
Yes.
We just won some silverware, and I'm going to give you some recognition by giving you a pay bump. And then what happened? Something. What could have gone down behind the scenes that we'll never know about that led to the way that that Aubameyang ended up leaving Arsenal.
We'll
I
never
don't
know,
get it.
right?
You think about it, right?
We'll,
You mean,
we'll know.
everyone's
We'll
riding
know
high.
at some
You're riding
point.
high. New manager comes in. He keeps picking me. Everything's going well. We win a shiny trophy. He's got his arm around on my shoulder. I'm happy. He's happy. He's bumped up my pay rise. That's good for me and the kids. And then something happens.
Do you
It all
think
goes downhill.
the documentary painted Aubameyang in a bad light later, a season later, or do you think that's the Aubameyang
I don't think it painted anything.
I tell you what I think.
who he
I think
was?
it
It
showed us everything
wasn't
that
really a
Aubameyang
part
done.
of it.
I think it showed us everything that Aubameyang done because we saw it, right? But
Yeah.
were there other conversations and other things that we didn't see
Correct.
that it may have
Probably,
led to a player choosing to act in that way? So we saw the player acting in that way, but we don't know maybe what made that
And-
player decide to. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Who
And
knows?
look, it was
Yeah,
Who knows what
Barcelona.
ended up on the card? Who knows, right? And you know that I've been on, I've been in
All
on
right.
TV and shit, and
Let
seen
me
that. Who knows what ended up? Who knows what ended up on the editing room floor? That's what I'm saying.
let me
Who
put
knows?
my
Because
Tony,
they didn't put
Tony, go
anything
ahead.
out. I mean, yeah. They say, oh, he's left the team, and here's Smith Rowe into the team, and that was it.
Let me
I mean,
don't get me wrong.
they didn't say
Don't get me
anything.
wrong.
It
I'm
was
not
just
trying
like,
to paint a
here's
picture
here
that
one
Mikel
ticket and
Arteta was
gone
an
the other.
ogre. Please, I'm not trying to paint a picture that maybe Mikel Arteta was an ogre and that. But all I'm saying is, it's what happens there. You
Let
won a
me
trophy. A new manager.
Mm.
There seems to be a good relationship. The manager rewards you, gives you a pay rise, and then he's out of the club. It all goes a bit sour. And
Let
it
me,
just seems a bit weird, right?
Can I put a scenario forward and you can pick holes in it, agree with it, or whatnot, and Gary might agree with this somewhat because
we'll pick holes in it, Ray.
he'll remember Anfield when we lost 4-0 at Anfield. We were going quite well, and Aubameyang gave away a free kick, and he dropped his head after that. Mane scored.
And
We
you know
lost
what? The next year, what did
4-0.
his coach do? He basically said, "Hold my beer. I'll do the same thing."
Who, Arteta? In what game? The
The
next
next
year.
time we played in Anfield
What
in
did
the
he do?
Premier League, he basically riled up the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he didn't learn anything. I mean,
What?
so.
Let me
You can go over. You can go over Aubameyang. Yeah, and
well,
it was a free kick that he gave away deep in our half, right? And
yeah.
they scored on it because
Yeah.
But I
But
think that was for me a set piece.
do
It's a
you
set
think,
piece issue.
just to expand on that, Gary, and I knew that would grab your interest, that part of Aubameyang in that game. But do you think that he didn't work hard enough for Mikel Arteta, and Arteta wanted him to run more, press more, and their relationship may have soured due to that? And look, it's no secret that Aubameyang promised his grandfather that he would one day play for Barcelona, and obviously clubs contact agents. The opportunity to go play for Barcelona was there, and he
But,
took it. You know what I mean?
but
He didn't want to
that
put in the
tells
hard yards.
but that tells you how much he was out of it with the coaching deal. For nobody in the team to know he was in Barcelona,
Yeah,
then they're basically getting these offers from Barcelona, seeing that he's already there and
he's at the gates.
So pass the fitness test and all that.
Well,
He
just
was
I mean,
he was in Barcelona, Gary.
what it shows is somebody's not in control of his squad, right? In charge of his teams. You know, that's kind of what
Well,
that shows.
he gave him dispensation to go and visit a family member, and what did he do? He got a tattoo. You
As
know
I
what I mean?
said, he's got no control
You
in the
can't
squad.
control. He's a grown man. You can't control a grown man.
No,
Maybe the
okay.
tattoo said "Mum."
So you're telling me if you go and you play for Atletico Madrid, that would happen. That you would go to you would go to Liverpool, that would happen. That you would go to City, that would happen. You think
We
that would
had,
happen? No,
yeah.
no. You think that would happen?
Well, look at Cancelo. What happened to him?
Are we talking? Are we
Where
talking
is he
about
now?
Aubameyang going to Barca?
Yes.
Just turning
Yeah,
up.
we're talking about
Yeah,
Aubameyang.
I thought that.
he's
I thought
gone,
that was.
right?
You know
He's
what? I
gone,
thought that
right?
worked
He
out for
doesn't.
everyone.
It might happen,
Brilliant
but it never
move.
happens again, right?
If I
Yeah,
was there too,
But
I'd be thinking, "Fucking hell, that worked out. That worked out all right. That was a great move. It's not It's not ideal, but it kind of worked out for everyone. Happy
how
days, I
mad do
say.
you?
The football gods.
How mad and upset, Stan, do you have to be with the
you and the football
management
gods.
to pull that move? To say, fuck it, I'm going to Barcelona, and Arsenal's gonna do it.
Here's
And what makes it even crazier
it's a
is that
gamble, right? Because otherwise,
no,
Aubameyang turns up at Barcelona and they give him like the Odawingi treatment and like, what are you doing here? Do you know what I mean?
no,
That's the way it works out. If
He
you've
was
gone
at the
over there
gates.
and
He
they'd be
was
like,
not. He was
yeah,
It
if you've
seemed
done
like
them
he
one of
was
them and
he
they were
was
like, no, we
camped
don't want
outside
you,
the
then it's
gate. You
embarrassing
know what I
because he
mean?
has to come back into the fold,
the
right?
fact that
That's a problem.
you know
It
what, the
worked
fact
out.
that they actually spent time making sure that deal went through, to me shows you that they want to get something done quick they can. You know what I mean? Because that,
Well, we had to cancel contracts. You know, it was
And
easy.
that
no,
one
no, no.
still.
But they did whatever they
That
had to
scene
do,
in
so
this
they can.
documentary when they got the call and they were like, hello, has anyone heard, apparently Aubameyang's in Barcelona. And it was like, what? You know that gif you see from the American office when it's like, don't panic, and everyone's running around the office and everything's going crazy. It was almost like they were doing that. They're like, what? Paper was flying up in the air, just bits of paper.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
that was what Man United is right now. We were there 2 or 3 years ago, I believe. Anyway, BX said we can't beat Liverpool on Sunday. We're not winning anything this season. This is a real test for the mentality of the team to come back to
It's a
bounce
big
back.
test. So Arteta has to There's a chance to beat a big team and move on in a tournament.
He's done it before. We're unbeaten against Liverpool in 3 games. Doesn't feel like it, but we are.
Ichigo.
You know?
I would go
well,
as far to say with what. Sorry, Gary, go on.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say what BX said there about, if we can't win at Anfield, then we ain't winning anything. Even though we got a draw at Liverpool in the
We're
game in
at
the
home.
league,
Yeah.
I actually was really like, if we are big boys, we will come away with 3 points. A draw's nice, don't get me wrong, and and I'm not trying to be like arrogant about it, but I was kind of like inside, if we're going to do something and we want to put a marker down, we need to win, and we didn't. And I think BX is now right. If it's now going to be in a cup game against Liverpool, if we can't win that game, I mean, that will kind of give us a true indication of where we really are in the scheme of things.
Yeah. If
Sorry,
we win
Gary,
on
go on.
Sunday, we're 2 points behind Liverpool. And we've closed the gap to them.
What do you mean? Just because no points? What nonsense are you talking about, Ray?
I took that from the book of Tom.
You know what?
Don't tell.
Give it back. Give it back. Burn that book.
Yeah, I got that book. I'll put it on eBay.
That's like total nonsense now.
That was called fishing. I was just fishing.
That was terrible. It was terrible.
But won't it be a good
You know what?
indication?
You know what? You lose your football card for saying nonsense like that.
I lose all credibility. Moss, stick with me. I was just joking, Moss.
But
I'm the one.
Doesn't that game show you how many of the players are on board and how many have just given up on the manager?
Which game?
This coming game, this weekend.
Okay, yeah. Are you saying this is a huge test to see? Because some people have said that he may be slowly losing the dressing room.
We'll
I
find
think
out.
he
You know,
is.
we're gonna find out because once again, this is no different than like going into the holiday season and how the team kind of, for me, capitulated a little bit and just stopped like not doing what they needed to do. Because if they were doing what they needed to do, I don't think it would have looked like that on the pitch. Those last 2 games. So they should have had some of their hardest practices of the season after what they just did. That's what the message should be. I haven't heard anything like that. I don't know if it's been said, but after those 2 matches, they should be having like none of this like la-di-da, like laughing and playing tag practices and stuff, right? No, like proper practices where, maybe there's fights coming out of it or some blood is drawn or whatever it is. But they need to, this is not all. It's not all fun and games, man. There's a lot of stuff going on here.
No.
Right.
But what's weird is Gary, like, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 here on Ray's show that you're sitting there because I was the only one saying we want to get the point total. But you counted like these 14 games that we would win, and now a lot of those looking dead. And
I can only go by what I just saw, and we were playing
nothing against you.
Yeah, but the margins were really slight, right? We show that we're not going to play good, but we might be able to. We're going to still win these games, right? Because that's basically what happened. Guess what? Those margins turned on their head. And we're now on the other side of the coin now.
I know it's just crazy how fast everything changed.
Yeah.
It's like
we could have lost to Fulham the first time we played. Could have lost to Luton when we played. Could have lost to many games, right?
It's crazy.
And now we're losing to West Ham and Fulham, right?
In this league, we've given up 4 points to a Fulham side.
Listen, right? Let's have it right. If we're talking about this game that's coming up,
welcome, Moss.
Right, Moss. How you doing, man?
Your debut, making your debut tonight on the circle, Moss.
Let's have it right. If we're talking
long time, too much of a chatter, and finally get to say hi to all you.
You don't have to agree with everything the host says just to get on this show.
You know what? You're not going to agree with whatever Ray says, so it's okay. Nobody agrees with what Ray says.
Funny. Some nights I agree with Ray, and some nights I'm all with Gary.
I don't know. You know what? When you're agreeing with Ray, something's wrong. Something's wrong.
Oi, Gary.
Something
Oi.
doesn't smell right. There's something fishy going on here.
But, but I was
Yeah,
gonna say, Ray,
Sometimes I'm even on with Tony about going back 3.
Oh no! See now I don't think that's crazy talk right there.
Yeah.
You know what? You know
But-
what? You
That's
boss,
list
you might
talk.
go in the list.
That
and
is
look
list
this up.
talk. That's
Peyote,
what that
you
is.
just
That's
joined
list
us.
talk.
I just
Oh,
always,
look at this
I
big
just always
number.
thought when we were getting Saliba, I was like, man, we have 3 stud center backs. Like we
But-
can risk
that is-
it and play back 3 now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but Ray, isn't it crazy that here we are at Christmas, we're in first place. Now here we are the 4th of January, and it's like we're
Look,
in 4th, and none
I-
of us have
be
much
careful what you ask
confidence
for,
of-
Tony.
Look, can I
I
just say though,
asked for
right?
competition. I asked for competition at the top. Who's your co-pilot, Pilot Moss?
Mario, Super Mario.
There you go, Mario.
Super
You always
Mario.
gotta try to get in the action. Who's the 3rd Canadian? Dan's in
Canadian.
Vancouver. I'm in Saskatoon.
It's gotta
Jose
be Mario.
DX said 3 Canadians.
It's got to be Mario.
Actually, he's not far off it because I'll be getting my citizenship quite soon.
Nice.
So officially, I kind of will be.
Tony is
Canadian.
Canadian or who is?
I'm getting my citizenship. I'm permanent resident, but I'm just waiting to get my citizenship. So that'd be coming
Yes,
through.
long
But I just wanted to
time
say, right,
Arsenal
because we've
Canada
got
man.
Nigel, right? Nigel's
Yeah.
in it. Who's
Nigel,
Liverpool. And I just want to say that when we get to the game this weekend and the teams come up, and you look at the bench that Liverpool have, and you look at the bench that we have, that's the difference, right there.
Yeah.
Even though they haven't got Salah, and you think, if they got Salah, we got a chance. They still have players that, as I say, I guarantee you, right? You look at Liverpool's bench, and you'll be able to pick off a few players that you think, oh my God, in our starting 11.
Misfits.
But Liverpool players will look at the lineup,
Full house.
and they won't be looking at our bench. Liverpool players won't be looking at our bench and going, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind having him.
Yeah, like
it's different.
Dan,
All right, Lonnie.
they bought Darwin for how much? It was almost 100, and then they just go and buy Gakpo. I was like, man, I wanted Gakpo. They just
85.
Liverpool just go and buy him again.
Gary wanted Gakpo.
Who would never pick this Brady bunch?
And Liverpool go and get their players.
That's right. They have McAllister's coming back. So,
Liverpool
like,
go and
yes,
get
they
the
might
players.
be missing Endo, but they have McAllister coming back. So they got, you know what? They're a really good squad. I mean, and then like now on top of that, but then they have that Kwanzaa kid, right? Right, another I don't know. I think Academy.
You know what,
kid, right?
Gary?
He's really young.
He's going to make mistakes, but Klopp is not afraid to plug him in and play him.
You know what? Arteta makes mistakes, so he shouldn't be thinking I'm gonna. No matter what player I put out, they won't make mistakes. They all make mistakes.
Well, we got
all of them.
We got Gabriel and Saliba playing every game. We don't see a switch.
Galiba.
What are you saying, Alonso?
Galiba.
Hey, guys.
In the back door. Alonso
Lonnie.
comes in like 2 minutes before the show's going to finish.
Yeah.
That's when you know the show's almost
Alright.
over. Alonso
Alright.
shows up.
It's hard work, man.
What are you saying?
Jeez.
What's happening?
Monte shows up a happy hour.
Look, Nigel does say, Liverpool fan here, he does say, we are difficult to play against. We are changing tactics every match. So almost impossible to plan your game plan. I can't work
How
it out.
can they do that? We just changed ours one time.
That freaking
We
Jota.
still can't figure
Jota.
out how to play it right now.
Do not score on Sunday, Jota.
You know
I
what?
don't wanna
You
hear
know
that.
what? Ray, you did it. You just
You like
did it.
scoring against us. don't you?
Stan, get the pen. Get the pen.
Diogo scores.
Get
Ray.
the pen out. Stan, Ray.
No, come on. Come on.
Ray, you're
can't
on the list.
The last thing
You're
you
on
want
the
to do is
list,
bring
Ray.
up Jota's name. Come on.
I
All right,
did.
Right.
I
Did
spurred him on.
Jota dive? Did Jota dive on New Year's Day?
Did he dive?
He
The
got
man had
good, but he made
Did
sure.
you see the splash when he hit the water? It was perfect. He just
He was like the man from
sliced.
Atlantis.
I think Klopp shot him in the leg.
Like Aquaman.
Man, you got a perfect pen
Freaking
on that dive, man.
Premier
That's
League.
like Greg Louganis,
Those are
man.
Mark
That's-
Phelps.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Great.
That's
Greg
Lagana's territory.
Hey, Gary, you went way back, man. You went Greg game this
I
time.
went all
Might
the
be
way
more
back,
than Red
man.
October.
That
Jota, very focused.
Greg Louganis hits his head on the springboard. That was what that was.
Yeah.
Rate that dive, Gary. 9.8.
Yes, he was. No, that's a
Don't call him
10,
the
man.
submarine
Perfect
for
10,
nothing.
man. No
Hey, Gary,
splash. No splash, man.
wasn't that in '88 that happened, or was '92? It was '88,
Oh,
right?
I don't remember years, dude. I barely remember what I did yesterday.
88.
I think it was '88.
Yeah, because 92, that would be like, oh,
Nigel,
nah,
Nigel.
I'll make it
Barcelona,
88.
Gary,
You know
you
what, if
sounded
he was-
like someone that Gary, when you said that, you sounded like someone that just like smokes loads of weed, but we know you don't. Gary's like, man, I don't even
We
remember
know
what I
you
was doing yesterday. Man.
We know you don't, Gary. We know you don't. Nigel, there was contact, but you gotta tell me. You can't tell me that he didn't. First of all, someone told me if you don't fall over, you don't get that penalty. If you try to stay on your feet, you don't get the
He
penalty.
probably would have scored if he.
Yeah,
Probably.
no, he would have
I
scored.
think
if
he
just stayed
realized-
upright.
I think he realized his touch was too
he-
heavy, and he decided a step after two steps.
Because
he decided.
we've seen. I mean, we've seen the best do it, right? We've seen Henri
He's not
get tapped just like that, and like he's not going down.
Yeah.
He's gonna score this goal.
Whatever
Hey, you know what?
happens, I hope it's a great game on Sunday and it's not decided in some contentious way like that. You know, that's
I
all
think
I'm
it'll
going
be
to
a
say.
real good game.
It's going to be a good game. And I
Tomorrow
think
or
we have,
Saturday early is Sunderland Newcastle. That'll be feisty.
yes,
Well,
local
you all sound
rivalry.
really confident, but I don't. You're all very like,
Me?
give me a good game and all that. I'm like, whelp. I'm worried. I've got a feeling that with Arsenal that you look at when we went for those clumps of games. Remember a couple of seasons back. I think that's happening
I
again.
got that banner.
You know,
I've got the
I think
banner. I got a banner for
I'm a
everything.
little bit worried that we're having a little bit of a bad bounce. I am, because I don't see where the goals are coming from.
Stan, can you
I
see
don't
us
see how
losing?
I don't see how that's going to be magically fixed since the last time I saw it. And the
Yes,
time
I agree.
before that. Do you know
I
what I'm
agree.
getting
The
at?
way
That's
I
what
can,
worries
I,
me.
I can tell you this: the only thing I can hope for is based on what I've seen so far is that when we play some of these big teams, that we play well. You know, even if we might not play perfect, but we play well enough to get something out of it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we've barely lost to Newcastle, right? Barely lost to some other team, Aston Villa, right? But then we've played all these other big teams pretty good, right? Liverpool, City twice. I mean,
all right.
so I kind of feel like we'll play up for this one because guess what? We have no choice. It's Liverpool.
But
What,
we can defend really well. We can probably defend really well. And if they score one goal and we don't finish our chances like we haven't been doing, they win 1-0. That's the point. We're not putting the ball in the back of the net.
I see.
I don't see. It's toothless at the moment, and we're going to have to play the same three. Do you know what I mean? If he plays, he's going to go with Saka and Martinelli. Saka and Martinelli are probably nailed on. The only thing he might do is he may play Eddie instead of Jesus.
No,
But
Havertz.
that's not like
Tross or Havertz.
We need the
That's
chaos.
what he needs. He needs to go with Havertz, but I don't think
I'm
he will.
worried. I'm
Van
worried.
Dijk is
I am
Van
worried.
Dijk is going to put one of those.
Stan,
I
why
am
you
worried.
hate me? What is that talk about? And Kenny is starting. Stop hating me.
Stan,
Why you hate me like that? That's painful.
I
Stop.
see a game.
You know what, Stan? Put your pen down. Put an S.
I'm not putting myself on the list.
Put a T. Go on, do it.
Put Eddie on the
I'm
list.
not putting myself on the
You
list.
said Eddie's gonna start. That right there. That's
Man.
you should put your name twice with a star. And
Put
quotes.
Jota on the list, Stan. Put Jota on the list.
Put your name
Do it.
down.
It's
Go on,
worrying,
it's all
though,
right.
isn't it? It's worrying. It's very worrying. Do you know what I mean? So I'm
Are
not as
you-
confident as some of you guys sound.
I try to go into
I
game
think, like,
looking. I try to look forward to the game, not like worry. about
I
it.
don't usually
But-
go into games like pissed off already. You're already doing that if that's the thought.
We've come off
you
the
know
back
what?
of two really bad losses, and now we're going into Liverpool. I'm just like,
Here we
fair
go.
enough.
If we
Okay,
lose, we're
okay.
gonna have people saying
Okay,
14 competitions Arteta's not won. Really? 14 competitions? Were we ever gonna win the leagues in the last 4 years? No.
I think we're
Yes.
a little more
Last year.
stable than Liverpool is going into this. I mean, they don't have Matip or some of their center
If we
backs.
put Eddie and Kid in,
Endo,
They have
we're not
injuries.
stable at
you
all.
know, Gomez at left back. It's like they got a lot of more things they're trying to pull switches on than us. And I mean, our defense is pretty solid, and I'm feeling good about it. I mean,
I feel like it's going to be a game like the last season at the Emirates, a 3-2 win. I think it's going to
Our
be that
defense
kind of
is solid, right? But our defense is solid, but 0-0 doesn't win the match.
No,
And if we can't score,
I
score
see goals in this
at
one,
some-
Stan.
and
at
that's
some
the thing,
point we'll
Stan.
win.
There's no like making it hard on the other team. Like we're so, you know, just like last year, we start getting found out and predictable, and it's starting to happen again.
Yes.
And it's like sometimes just for the hell of it, like Trossard's corners or Martinelli's corners are so terrible. Saka, just go to that side, take the corner, and stay over there. Stay over there for a little while. Make their fullbacks think, oh, hey, their forwards are switching, you know, or and Gunnar brought it up. Me and Jose, we think a lot alike, and it's like start trying things to make it difficult and make the other team think.
No, you know what? We don't like doing that, Moss. You know
I
why?
know,
Because you know what? It
so
might work, and
stubborn.
we might punish them
Make
with a
them suffer.
goal. You know, we're not
But
that
it's-
kind of team. We like to be nice. We're so nice about things.
I'm sure Martinelli would like bombing down the right wing, you know, like.
But it's crazy. We got
Moss.
Kai, you got Gabriel.
If I see that, if I see Martinelli on the right side, I'm going to
You
adjust
should
my.
be getting headers. You should be
But-
getting headers with those three guys.
So I'm interested to see how a midfield of Partey, Rice, and Odegaard do, because
I've been saying too, Alonso. We've never had it the whole season yet.
No.
because I think that Rice can play a perfect role like Jaka was last year. I think he could.
Yeah,
That's
what Ray.
He said in his press conferences that Arteta's trying to work on him to be more of a complete midfielder. And I think that he could solidify that number 8 if Partey were healthy. You know, I think this works if Partey were to be healthy. And also, I wouldn't mind seeing Emilius' role in that role as well. But again, it's up to the manager.
Who? I don't know that name. Who?
So do you think?
Who
Do you
that?
think? I think Partey maybe isn't ready.
Doesn't ring
but
any bells.
Will he go?
Emil
Will he go
Rose-
Jorginho or will he go Havertz probably again? As usual.
He's probably going to go Havertz and
mate.
Odegaard.
Havertz,
Yeah,
isn't it? Chewing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rice,
Anybody-
Havertz, Odegaard.
Anybody but
And that's why
Zinchenko, man.
Gary hated that Partey right back thing, but that's totally why he did that.
He hates me.
He wanted to be playing Havertz in those games. He wanted Havertz.
I hated that by 1,000 times more than Gary.
No, you didn't.
I'm like, why the
Gary
fuck
hated
is
it.
Gabriel on the pitch?
I remember.
You did not hate it worse than
I remember Gary the first time we saw it. I think I mentioned it on your show. He's playing Partey at right back. And you're like, no, that can't happen. That was
And
not.
it was actually not bad the first time.
Not even-
You know what? The problem is he's not
lost the
available 100% of the time. So when he plays, he should be like. There's certain players when they're healthy, you play them in their position.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what you know.
Don't mess. Yeah.
Don't mess around with because you know what? Your time's limited. There's an expiration on how
don't
many
waste
people play,
The
much
funny
less
thing
how
about-
often they'll be able to play.
The funny thing about it is, like, he tried to play Partey at right back against Wolves because they know he can win that game.
Took Partey 2 seasons. Stan, you got to go. Thanks for being here, Stan.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the man from there.
Cheers, Stan.
Dinner's on the table. You better go
Please,
before
please,
Tony says something. Quick.
I'm just saying.
I know, Tony does not want to get on the list
table.
again.
What's
Tony,
your prediction?
Tony, just be quiet. Don't say anything until he leaves.
I'm just biting my tongue.
What's your prediction, Stan?
My prediction. I'm worried.
2-2.
I'm worried, and I don't like.
There'll be another
I don't
game.
I don't like to.
He
go
loves the
against Arsenal,
Desmond.
but I just don't think that we're going to win. I'm sorry, but I've got to go because my nose bag's being served up as we speak. It's been great talking to all of you. Sorry I
I've
couldn't
muted
stay longer.
Tony.
Thanks for joining. Moss, thanks for joining. Everyone
Love
in
you,
the chat
sir.
box, welcome. 2024 Arsenal fan
Why the
circle
fuck did you
continues.
mute me for 30 seconds? Ray?
I'm such a bad
Why?
typer. I finally gave up.
Because you
Say
keep
go.
talking when other people are talking, Tony. That's why. Like me trying to do like a lovely which you totally ruined. So I'm just going to say
Cheers, Stan.
thanks, everyone. Have a great
Cheers, Dan.
week, and I'll see you all on Sunday Have a good
That's
one.
it. Yeah.
Yes,
See, pal.
McConaughey said Partey probably won't play more than 15 minutes. He's nowhere near match fit. Definitely agree with that. Bye,
Well,
Stan.
if he were healthy, he'd be playing this game, but it's just saying that
Yeah, if he's healthy, yeah. If he's healthy, if we get him for that 10, 12 games for the run-in, and we have Rice, Partey, and Odegaard, that's the midfield.
I mean, I think we've dominated most matches in the midfield. That hasn't been the problem. It's just finish.
We can't do anything on that left wing.
Problem is, you're right, Moss. We have dominated. We've dominated teams, but we're still fourth place, 5 points away from a Liverpool team.
We used to let's fly down that left side, and we just don't do it. The left side's broken this season.
And look, I don't want Man City winning this league, but I'd like us to get close to Liverpool.
Yeah, at the start of the year, I said it'll be us and Liverpool battling.
Yeah, if it comes down to Liverpool or City winning, I want Liverpool to win this thing. You know, I don't want City.
I don't want anybody to win it. That's how.
But
nobody can win.
Champions League.
Van Dijk has been so important for Liverpool, and Alisson, that combo. The two of them are working very well together.
What's his name? The Scottish Robertson. He should be back pretty soon.
He's injured.
Yeah, he's been injured a long time, and I think he's soon to be back.
And look, Simicast did that to himself. He jumped into that challenge. I don't want to hear any shit.
You know what? You can't dish it. You dish it out. You're gonna get it. It's gonna come back to you twofold. That's all you.
This is Ray's no bullshit part.
Did he throw him in the Klopp? That was awesome.
Jurgen Klopp cannot waterlog our pitch. He might be able to do it at Anfield, but he can't do it on Sunday. Thank you, Sam. Liverpool, Arsenal, not City. Definitely, Nigel. No plastics allowed anymore winning the league, you know. So, you know, anybody else got anything else to add? We'll get out here in a few more minutes, you know. Moss, what's going on with you, Moss, these days? What are you up to?
Channel is Moss Sports World now. Just doing watch-alongs as always.
Did you rebrand, or that's what it's always been?
I kind of figured out why I was always getting my channel east. Was I used my same channel name as chat name, and I have a ability to piss off a lot of opposing fan channels and negative Arsenal channels over in Britain. So I think I had a lot of moderators like batting me and stuff. I found out. So it and then if they YouTube nails your account, and when I had that as my channel, well then the whole thing is gone. It's happened like 2-3 times.
Oh man.
So now that's why I'm like Moss Sports World channel and Sasky Gooner is my channel.
You're sitting there for like 2 weeks. I can't get logged on.
Yeah, we'll probably do FA Cup Saturday, Sunday as usual.
Yeah, are you doing some watch along?
It's what, ESPN Plus, right?
Yeah, it's on ESPN. Yeah. FA Cup. Gary,
I'll probably just be on with Ryan because Saturday's usually my day. So
is it guaranteed that it'll be on though? Because I remember before in the third round we weren't even on.
Oh, is that right? It won't be on ESPN, you think?
Yeah, it's not an app for us. It's our Sportsnet channel in Canada, so it's just they kind of pick which ones they want, and then you just hope they pick.
We'll get Stevie Nicol and Don.
Well, you get him on ESPN. Oh man,
that dude hates Arsenal so much, man.
That guy hates us.
And Craig Burley, who's the other one?
I don't mind Craig Burley.
They're all
it's on terrible. ESPN Plus, so
Shaka his lot.
So I'm
they're
good.
all Shaka.
Shaka his lot. Man, what a joke, dude.
We have a generation of sports presenters that hate Arsenal because they got handed to them by Bergkamp and Henry, Ian Wright, you know, Vieira, Petit, Tony.
But it's crazy.
We get
like
good
20,
British announcers in Canada. McChronicle.
It's just crazy. 20. It's 20 years later, and they still just show their hate. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason why Stevie Nicol hates is because of '89.
Yeah, we stopped their
Uncle
streak.
Thomas.
We ended them.
He was on that team.
Yeah, he was on that team. Right
What a
back.
season. Yeah. He's the one that the rebound came off of.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Stevie Nicol.
Michael Thomas.
Alan Hansen. I hated that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I was predicting 2-1. I usually do for us.
The generic scoreline. Gary.
2-run for us.
Gary's out of here.
Yeah.
You're
Everybody.
leaving
Gary.
the crew.
All right.
See
You
you
guys
guys
have a
next year,
good night.
man.
And see you
See you,
guys
man.
on either
On the weekend.
tomorrow or definitely Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll be on at 10 a.m. to do whatever we do. So check us out. All right. Thank you.
Whatever that is. Thanks,
See you,
Gary.
pal.
Check it out.
Gary's
Nigel,
brand
Mikey
of nonsense.
Thomas. Cool, Nigel.
in the Liverpool area. That's when Michael Thomas went to Liverpool then. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys. Made the best team win. Look, you're going to get this kind of there's usually a lot of decent Liverpool fans. I will say that much
Yeah.
about
Most
them.
of
But
my friends and growing up, my coaches, older players, my age group, everyone was Liverpool. So
Mhm.
I'm used to it.
growing up in Ireland, you either had to be a Man United or Liverpool fan, Moss.
Yeah.
So
It was, yeah.
I was Liverpool until about
Late
70s.
70s, early
70s.
80s, they dominated so much that
But
everyone
now
wanted
you're a Liverpool fan again, right?
I'm they're my second team a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, listen, I started following Arsenal in the late 70s, and they had Beardsley, they had Barnes, they had
Yeah,
Rush,
I love John
they
Barnes.
had Aldridge. You know, they
I
were
think you have
playing.
one A and one B, right?
What does
They
that
were
mean?
stacked.
That Arsenal is
I was
one
early
A.
80s.
Well,
Started
like they
early
do
80s.
that on horses
One
sometimes.
A, one
You
B.
get like you
They're
get
both
like
from
a
the same
5.
stable. Yeah,
Haven't you seen that in horse racing? Right, you get like a
Yeah.
5A and a 5B.
and then of course, growing up in Ireland, I had to be a Celtic fan as well. It just is what it is.
I'm not one of the two. I'm a Hibs, the Green of Edinburgh.
Oh, you're not one of the two. Okay, all right.
Hibs.
Yeah, look at that.
The
Nice
Green
one.
Pride of Edinburgh.
Nice one. All right. 1-0 to the Arsenal, late Martinelli or Harvard's goal. What's gone wrong with Martinelli, Moss?
I think mixing it up, like I said and Jose said, would help now and then. Having a different defender, not being on the same defender the whole time. And I think when we were really rocking and rolling, we were playing. The best part of it was probably the first half of last year. I think most people would agree.
Yep.
Last year we were just cruising. It took time for people to catch up to what we were doing. And really, it was, come press us because we will rock and roll, speed you, and counterattack you and destroy you.
Yeah.
And
now
no
the
team do
speed's
that
gone.
anymore. The only team that did it lately has been Brighton, and we smoked them.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone else has the video, and they're just like, we're sitting back.
Right.
We're not letting Martinelli and Saka get going. They just sit.
Yeah. The Zerbi is missing those players that they sold, and
and he didn't have his full team either.
Yeah, and that's what Brighton is. Brighton is a team that will develop young players too.
But
Like-
you can
like
respect his style is like ours. We're gonna press you. We're gonna
Yeah.
press you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think anybody who watches our tape, it's like they've already seen it, so they just know what to do.
And I think Arteta has tried to address that this first half, that we'll be more patient and stuff. And then it's just, we've hit the dry well of not scoring, and it's killing us.
Nigel thinks that Liverpool will win or draw. If a draw, will win at Anfield. So Liverpool win.
Yeah, I really don't want that draw. I was celebrating Everton Palace draw today, saying, "Oh yeah, they got another game before they got to play us." And then I'm like, "Oh shit, what if we draw?"
So when is that replay, Moss? Is it next week?
I think it's next Wednesday. I think.
Okay. All right.
So ours probably would be too. I would think.
Yeah.
Draw.
So what do you like, Ray? What do you like better, the League Cup where you go to shootouts, or this where you have the
I like
replay?
this.
The FA Cup, or what do you mean, or the League Cup?
Like
The-
he's saying,
the
no
League Cup.
overtime, no replays. Carabao goes straight to pens. Do you like that, or do you like replays?
No, I think I grew up with the FA Cup, and I like the
Me too.
aspect of replays as well. Do you remember that Leeds
Well,
saga?
that's the whole fantasticness of it. Is there's a draw, and you're lucky if you got a home game. So if you can't beat them, you're going to the other place to try and do it.
Do you remember that Leeds saga? We played Leeds about 4 or 5 times.
4 games.
Yeah.
That's what they were starting to decide. I think we know we need to change something here.
That was crazy, but so much drama, and it was good.
But it is
good FA Cup.
And you start
football.
hating each other. Like it gets intense.
Yeah, you play the same team.
It's like a hockey series, you start hating everybody.
We're gonna play Liverpool on Sunday, and by the time we play them in February again, that hatred will start to develop as well. You know what I mean? So we're going against the Liverpool team.
And I'm not just saying switch. I think Jose's bringing up Martinelli again, but I'm not just saying switch sides. But even if it was Martinelli and Jesus switching sometimes, or if Trossard's on, Trossard's really good at never being covered, like always moving. We did good when he was actually the false center forward there.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, let's just make it difficult. Like,
even
change spots.
Yeah, I don't know why we stopped on this Saka Martinelli flipping. You used to see him change sides.
And also, like, Saka and Trossard have good chemistry as well. So it's like, I don't understand the disconnect between Arteta and his game plan.
Try Kai on the right side. Like, tried some different things. Like, not to start, but like during matches is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there'll be there's got to be an urgency, there's got to be a drive within the team now?
Yeah, I thought we cannot continue. And we were dead fish, man.
We cannot continue to play this slow football.
Lots of people are saying that we're so
Arteta's he's got to realize that he can't continue. We've, as Gary's alluded to, you see the videos on Twitter, and Rice refusing avenues. He's refusing passes.
He's always choosing sideways. Yeah,
coming back inside, playing across them.
Well, for some aspects, to be fair, you got to do that when it's low blocks, but.
Yeah,
man, you at times you can see Odegaard's trying to do it. He's like, let's pick up the tempo. Let's get quick passing going, and it's just not happening the last couple of games.
Yeah,
I think this is what happens when we have like two different players from two different clubs, right? I mean, Havertz came from Chelsea and Rice came from West Ham, and it's going to take time. I mean, I don't know if that's part of the issue is that you try to transform your midfields off a season, and it's going to take time. And I kind of realized that, you're talking about two different players coming from two different positions that really you could make the argument that really isn't their natural position. I think at Chelsea, Kai Havertz was more inside the box and not playing an actual left 8 to me. And he brings in, I guess Rice, and I think right now he's kind of being asked to do too much, and it's a system that's new to him. So I think that's part of the issue as well. Is that you're not getting a full amount of Rice nor Havertz because they're both trying to put in the system that Arteta's trying to play.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're totally right, Alonso. And then I think Ray's been right about saying, why are we getting Rice a little more forward? And I think he's by far, our best 6. but if we get him into that spot, I really like Rice coming into the box. Like everyone's talking about, Kai Havertz, he's so tall. We got to get him in the. I haven't seen him win headers or be powerful in the air. I think Rice is maybe our most powerful. Well, besides Saliba and
I'm looking at
Darwin in the box.
But Moss, I'm looking at Darwin Núñez, and he's going to create chaos, and they're not going to have.
Liverpool. So many people want to dump on Darwin Núñez, but give me one player that creates as much chances as he has. He hits the crossbar, misses sinners.
His finishing is as bad as Eddie Nketiah, and Liverpool fans.
But he has a million. He creates a million chances every game, and he's getting assists. He's getting assists too, Darwin.
But if you go to the back 3, doesn't that allow Rice to venture further?
Yeah, Here we, you're really selling the back three
But
tonight.
we really have played a back three. Zinchenko plays midfield. Like
Yes. Yeah, 100%. And
A lot of times,
nobody
if you
told
see-
Gabriel.
yeah,
though.
then lately Declan is really sitting back.
Yeah, nobody
I know
tells
it used to
Gabriel
just be
Magalhaes
two. It used
when
to
we're
be
playing three at the
just
back.
we'd have a back two when we were on offense. Now
2-1
it's three
Arsenal.
because Rice
Tiger,
is dropping back so far.
Tiger.
I think there's going to be more goals in this. Darwin's definitely improving, but they're going to have Diaz, Darwin, and maybe Jota.
Jack was the clinical one. He can really finish.
The Diaz is going to play on the left, but Darwin should play through the center. And will Jota play right? How's that going to work without Salah?
So,
You know what I mean?
shouldn't this be one of those
Gakpo might go
3-2,
right.
3-3 games?
Yeah.
Jota
that,
might
Tony?
be.
I said, don't you see this as one of those 3-2 games or 3-3 games?
I do. I'm calling it as a 3-2, similar to last season. But we have to
It's
jump
one
on
of
them
those.
early.
We're meeting early in the FA Cup. We've already played each other. It's like, let's just go for it. Both teams.
I think it's going to be.
mentality.
And Trent is a phenomenal player, but he really should have scored that goal.
So now with Simicast out, they're probably going to play
Gomez.
TAA right back. I think that Martinelli can get him. We've seen it.
Yeah. Liverpool tactics. Who knows? We know that Liverpool are in the mold of Klopp. They're built in the mold of Klopp, and Klopp is telling them,
I think that Szoboszlai's hurt.
go out there.
I think Gravenberg's okay.
I've been hearing that Szoboszlai's hurt. McAllister came back in. This is the thing. Klopp brings players back in, gives them 20 minutes, and then they're ready for the next game. So McAllister
Jones has had a good season. Those rumors that we're interested is just we're playing mind games back at them because they always used to say, "Oh, we're after Martinelli."
Yeah. It's January, right? So you got to take a lot of things.
I don't think
pinch of salt.
I don't think Klopp can do an interview about Arsenal without saying, I want Martinelli.
He always wants our players.
Pep Linders is like the Jason Tyndall of Newcastle. He's always there. You know what I mean? In the background.
I could just see him as Wile E. Coyote with the knife and fork just drooling over Martinelli. That's Klopp.
Yeah, so listen, I think it's going to be a great game. We have to leave it here. I think we'll sign off now. Alonso, what have you got to say?
What is your prediction, Alonso?
Well, it's at home, so we play our best at Liverpool at home.
Yes.
The only way we win the game is when Zinchenko don't play. We have a chance. So I think it'd be 3-1 to Arsenal.
3-1. Kind of cool. Suddenly, Ramsdale's in the pipes.
Yeah. So, is Ramsdale going to play?
I kind of think he's just going Raya because he's so stubborn. But
Ramsdale is the cup keeper.
Yeah, that's what I would think too, Ray. But every time I think that, I'm wrong.
I just hope that Zinchenko's still hurt, man, because I can't stand him.
Transfer value? Do we try to do that so he's not cup tied? You know what I mean? There's a lot of things going to happen.
There's that too. You're right.
Can't answer. Nigel said, "Don't underestimate Jurgen Klopp and Pep Linders' partnership." I don't underestimate Jurgen Klopp. He's able to get his teams ready and prepared to play.
I wouldn't be surprised if Ramsdale and Smith Rowe haven't played their last game for Arsenal.
I will predict one thing: Liverpool will not have a GA of 7 point something on Sunday. We just won't play the game Newcastle played. That's for sure.
Jesus.
I don't want Arteta to get psyched out about that either. You know what I mean? Tony, what's your final thoughts? We'll give Moss the final say then.
I'm just ready to see this game this weekend.
Yeah.
Usually enjoy watching the Cups. Hopefully it's on the ESPN Plus because in the past sometimes we're not on there. So hopefully we're on there.
Do you guys know? Do they still just kind of do the draw, even though there's replays? They kind of just do the draw the Monday.
It should be right after our game.
Okay, cool.
It should be right after our game. They'll go to some third-rate celebrity footballer.
Sometimes it's like
We all
during our
heard that.
game. Sometimes they don't even wait until the games are finished and they draw.
Yeah. Liverpool got a draw at City. Remember that? Yeah. Also got lucky with VAR. Liverpool did at City. Steve Nicola hates us because he let Thomas through. Storming through the center. Moss, what's your channel there? Says Tiger.
Yeah, my chat. I put it in there. Yeah.
All right. Go check it out, Tiger and Gooder.
Yeah, we'll be the triple back-to-back FA Cup Saturday. But are you guys live too, or you're just having a chat?
Yeah, we'll just have the show after on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Sunday. Soon NFL's over, so that's a good time. Sundays.
The NFL's over.
Soon enough.
It is for the Eagles. Right, Alonzo?
It's not over yet, right?
Playoffs to come.
It comes on 3:30 on CBS.
Yeah. Moss, do you believe the playoffs, everybody starts with a clean slate, or Eagles are done? Huh?
For NFL?
Yeah, NFL.
My team's the Dolphins, so we blow Sunday night. We're going to blow the playoff game, too. It'll be over. But we beat the Bills. We beat the Bills. We'll probably do some damage in the playoffs.
Hey, Moss, welcome to the club, man.
Yeah.
the club of ifs.
But yeah, Nigel just put it. How about those Browns, man?
Yeah.
Four or five quarterbacks, and they're doing awesome.
Used to be across the pond sports talk. Okay. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. We're third favorite for Super Bowl in Vegas.
A lot of those Ontario guys in Canada are Buffalo Bills fans.
They haven't clinched the playoff spot yet, Yeah, it's going to be winner takes all, right?
Yeah, Sunday night.
Is the loser out? Whoever loses
Buffalo could be out. We're in no matter what.
Okay.
But if we win, we got the second seed, and that'll be nice.
Okay.
So we're not on Texans and Colts. The Texans are in if they win.
Yeah, Colts and Texans is do or die too.
All right, Moss. Thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it.
Long time listener and maybe too much of chatter all the time and bad typing. And it's a lot easier just coming on once in a while. But
no such things as
big fan.
So.
Hey, Moss, at least your computer doesn't freeze every half hour, so
Hit up Gary if you do want to join us again. Hit up Gary. You've got the
got him on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Do you have an Instagram, Ray, or
no?
I'm not on Twitter. Okay.
No. I'll get you digits from Gary.
From Gary, yeah, sure.
On WhatsApp. I'll put you on WhatsApp. Okay.
Wait. I have WhatsApp, and you guys still haven't added me. None of you guys had 3 years now.
We make lots of groups. Yeah.
There's no. I really don't like. It gets too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially if at work, man. Like, that can be a lot. So I get it.
I send too much info. People get annoyed.
It gets too much, right, Moss? I shy away from that stuff. So yeah, Moss, thanks for joining.
Hopefully, I can join the chat again, chatting with them all the time, like I used
33 to 1.
Having issues with my arms, so one-handed typing isn't very much fun.
Did you have a surgery on your wrist or what?
Wrist and elbow. I had cubital tunnels, so they cut here where your funny bone is. Then they cut where my thumb was, then cut over here. Then they took a nerve from here and put it where my funny bone nerve was.
Well, hopefully it
Bionic
comes
man.
That's why I have like beet red skin.
Yeah, I know lots of surgery. I got a metal leg too from soccer.
Yeah. All right. Look.
Yeah, I'm an Arsenal Canada member, so a lot of the Canadians watching. I don't know if you are, but I'm waiting for the new. It used to be 3-4 years ago when we weren't rocking, Ray. It was so easy. You could just say, "Hey, I want a ticket for the game. I'm going over."
I know.
Now it's like you got to win a golden ticket, like Willy Wonka.
I've been there a few years ago, but it has been a few years since I went back. I tried. There was no chance of getting it the early part of this year, last year, when we were rocking and rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the last year started getting harder. I went for August, like Emirates Cup.
Yeah.
The first match at Crystal Palace we won, and then the Leicester one we won at home, and went to an under 21 game. I spent like $60 on Uber, and the ticket was free to go. That was good to watch all the young guys. Marquinhos was up playing. And...
Yeah, Nigel, I would say, looking at the face of it, Liverpool are rocking and rolling, but we're playing at home, so that's what makes this a very intriguing game.
And everyone's so down. I mean, I said, man, we beat Liverpool. Everyone's happy again.
I mean, things have to turn around. The players know that they have to do it for us as well. Remember,
Ray?
I think it was against Leeds, the 5 replays.
Yeah,
Tiger and Gunnar. Right. We were talking about that a bit earlier. Yeah.
This is one of your longest Irish goodbyes.
You know, that's what I do, right? Okay, Tony. See you later. Moss, thanks for joining. Alonso, Gary, and Stan. Take care of yourselves. We are out of here.
Thanks, thanks, Tony.
Look, we want to be winning leagues, but we have to be involved in trophies. And an FA Cup is a trophy.
The 15th FA Cup would be
Liverpool. Nice. Liverpool, you involve yourself in that League Cup semi-final.
Is it Liverpool or is it Man U, Ray? Second to us in FA Cups.
Man U. I don't think it's
Man
Liverpool.
U,
yeah. I think they only have 7 though. Something like that.
Oh, maybe it's Liverpool has more then. Because someone is like 10 or 11 and we're 14. Yeah.
No, Man United are on 11. You're right. Man United are on 11.
I thought somebody was like on 13 right behind us.
We're on 14. No, we're not that close. But look, it's a competition.
Beautiful.
If you can't win the league, you win a cup. Okay, that's the way it goes.
And if we get this tough draw, usually it means you get a couple nice draws after that.
Exactly. Liverpool's out. You got to get a decent team.
We'll get luckier. Yeah.
West Ham away again.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Sheffield Wednesday. All right. We'll see you. Thanks, Moss. Take care, everybody.